Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Asylum Podcast, episode 42. 42.
Yay.
Pew, 42. I think it's episode 42. If it's not, then that's a big fuck up, but otherwise, yeah, it should be 42. So, welcome, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. As always, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can't ask us questions, but if you are in chat, exclamation mark, question mark should bring you up the question form, so you can come and ask us questions. Please do so during the whole show, because we will try our best to answer them. And if you ask them in chat, we'll try and answer them there as well, but we do miss them sometimes, so if you use the form, we'll guaranteed-ish to get you there. And obviously we're guaranteed to do 10% Star Citizen chat at least tonight, if we push it.
That's quite positive.
Yeah, it is good. So yeah, welcome everybody. This week we are joined by the just got out of the grave Mr. Little Bit of Madness. or maybe he hasn't.
Hello. I'm fine.
Right.
Nothing wrong with me.
And,
Okay.
the wonderful goat that can float, I think I said last time, Mr. Bugwitcher.
Good morning,
And
good afternoon, and good evening, folks.
a first time, and hopefully not the last time, although I think he's already running for the door, Mr. DersussTV.
Hello. Yeah, stoked to be here, man. Stoked to be here.
He says that now. So, how have you all been?
So many have come. and
Since
gone away.
Dersus, you're new to the channel and everything, why don't you introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are and what you do?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably
Hey.
obvious.
All right. What's going on, my dudes? My name is Dersus. I guess DersussTV, known on Twitch, and I stream Star Citizen mostly. Dabble in other things from time to time, but it's mostly Star Citizen most of the time. I've been streaming it, playing it for I don't know, like 2 years now. I don't know. Time flies, man, when you're having fun.
Does
But,
go fast.
Exactly.
Dude, with like 3.1 being like stable, and ever since then, I've been playing a lot more. So it's been rad and groovy. Oh yeah, and then other things from California originally, moved to the great nation of Switzerland semi recently. So that was cool. Hence and then my stream time's kind of random, middle of the night for most of you Americans out there.
That's perfect for us, so.
Yep.
One of us. I'm just setting up your command. So keep talking. I'm just setting up your command in the chat so people can follow you. Or anyone else can talk.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There we
Link
go.
to
Exclamation mark guest should work.
10:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or something like that, you know.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the way the cookie crumbled.
Awesome.
be-
The way the cookie crumbles.
I mean, I only invited him because he has a Spider-Man comic behind him.
It's signed by the one and only Stan Lee, actually, earlier this year. Rest in peace. Like, seriously.
Cool.
Yeah. Rest
wow.
in peace. Seriously,
Nice.
legend. One of the greatest men forever, really, in my opinion. So yeah, huge,
Yes.
very deep lost to the comic world. And yeah, dude, like seriously,
Dude.
is that the first one? Is that the first?
No, this was Secret Wars number 8, the one where he gets his symbiote costume, black costume that becomes Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who did that, I can't remember his name, but he hated that costume. He did not like the fact that Spider-Man was black. He didn't like it. He thought it was sent out the wrong message, a dark message or whatever. It took him years to finally get over it, I think it was, and he finally accepted that he could get it and understood it. But it took him years. He really didn't like the
Dude.
character that came out from it. It was really
I
funny.
mean, it was Secret Wars was what got me into comics and whatnot. And so this one in particular, or that whole, yeah.
We're doing a new podcast,
Anyways.
guys. This is going to be about cartoons because
Yeah.
that's what
It's
Cartoons and 3D printing.
Yeah, I was gonna say this week it's cartoons and 3D printing, so it's pretty much this is the topic of the week. We did only
I
promise
found a new
10%
artist,
Star
actually.
Citizen, so
Someone retweeted an artist, and I just absolutely fell in love with them. I gave if you follow me on Twitter, I gave out a shout out to her. She did Doctor Strange. Sometimes some amazing Doctor Strange artwork. And yeah, if you like that type of thing, but it's super cool girl. I'll dig out and I'll find her name in a second. Carry on.
okay, cool.
Carry on.
So Brock, what have you been up to this week? Let's not talk about Star
Printing.
Citizen. Let's hear about what you've been doing.
How's life been, man?
Well, life is quite good actually. No, the only thing I did with Star Citizen, I was buying myself a little arrow, which I really like, and that was pretty much it. Then my 3D printer arrived during the weekend, and yeah.
And then he forgot Star Citizen existed.
Then I basically forgot about Star Citizen a bit, but I'm also trying to resolve a problem, an issue which I'm having for 2 years now with my left joystick. It's something in Star Citizen that will, I don't know, at the weirdest times, but usually when I'm trying to land or to mine, give me a forward motion, forward movement out of nowhere. Joystick it at neutral position, and it will just crash me into a wall or whatever, making me nuts. And that's basically kind of draws me back.
Blaming your joystick for your crashing, is that what you're saying?
No. I've tested it in Windows. It's acting all fine. No sudden spikes in movement. It's only in game that it happens, and I can't figure that shit out. There.
So yeah, it's
I will be back tomorrow, of course.
of course.
In Star
It's only because you're going to do a 12-hour print, and there's fuck all else you can do while it's printing.
Exactly.
I mean, that is one of the, like I say, good. That's one of the kind of good things about it. Is like once it's printed, there's fuck all you can do, so you might as well go and do something else.
You just
So
wait. Yeah.
it must be a very popular in Britain, 3D printing, because we like to wait for shit. So that's just like print
Congratulations.
2
by the
days
way.
later. Oh, this is fun. What we done?
Brexit.
We haven't got anything with Brexit yet. It's you
I thought
may
they acknowledged it.
EU
Yeah,
may have
we did.
acknowledged it, yeah, but you've got to bring it back to our country, and you've got a bunch of fucking MPs that don't give a shit, and they're like, no, even before they've heard it, they're like, nah, we're not agreeing to that. So you may have a deal, we won't have one by the time it comes around to it. So yeah, don't worry about that. We'll just be some island floating off somewhere, being left on our own.
No.
With no one
I
to
will
trade,
throw you a line.
to, and
We will keep you beside us.
we'll hang on our like internet connection, you know, just the wire. Probably like end up using tin cups by the time we're finished.
Satellite. All satellite.
So anyway, back to Star Citizen. Yeah, so there hasn't been. Well, we've only had the Arrow as a new ship so far.
Yeah.
So how many of you picked up an Arrow? What do you all guys? That's a good way to start off. Unless, do you want to start off on that, or do you want to talk about something else first?
Well, if you are going to start off with the Arrow, I think we have a link to the Arrow, a very quick one with the Top Gun music vibe going on, which I think would be very appropriate.
Right. Let me find that.
Number 44. Row number 44. Top vibe. And I have to say, I literally, as soon as I saw it, I was in love with it. Because it ticks every box that I enjoy. I like having the underdog ship. I always like having the more nimble ship. And I always love the experience of knowing that if you take a 1 or 2 hits, you're dead. And so you have to fly like you're a god to try and stay alive and then get the kill. And I just love that. I always love that experience, that feeling of like just dodging everything and still getting the kill away or getting a couple kills away, you know, before you are too damaged and have to get away. It's just, there's no other feeling like it for me. It's just such an awesome feeling of humiliating the opposition when they've got a better ship than you and they've spent 200, 300 pounds and you beat them in a 70 quid one. It's brilliant.
I mean, she's
Absolutely
a sleek-looking
brilliant.
ship, man. She is a sleek-looking ship.
Beauty.
I'd have to agree with
Good
Starburger that it falls beautifully. It falls like an arrow, actually. Like I tried to go, I took it out. No, hear me out. This wasn't my fault. This isn't my bad. Well, it probably is my bad plan. But I took it up, and like the first time I tried to fucking get the thing to start, it wouldn't actually start in the hangar. It just loaded up. And then eventually when I managed to get through the controls and get the thing to take off, I managed to get it all up. It goes so slow to go upwards as well. So I took off over Lawville, and I thought I'd try and do like a canyon flyby, but the thing just dropped. It just dropped. It just drifted down.
Like an arrow, man.
Exactly like an arrow, and then just like an arrow, because I'm trained in this, so we know it just skimmed. It bounced and skimmed along the floor.
That is true.
It did take back off again, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe it's my joystick. And then the next thing I looked back at my screen, it just went again. Third time, it blew up.
I think it's the best looking Anvil spaceship. The
F7A
words. The F7A is very good looking as well. The F8 is good looking, but people only get really excited about the F8 because I think it's insane loadout more than anything else. But I think this is the best looking.
I kind of like the look of the F8, and I also kind of like the flap things at the front that everybody says they don't like.
I thought I would like hate the look of the F8 because just from like, I don't know, the silhouettes, it looks so busy. But I don't know, seeing it in person, it was like, all right. I think I could learn to love this thing.
I can
you learn to love 6 size 3s and 2 size 5s or whatever they are. I learned to love that as well. There's no question. That is like, you literally got the firepower of a hammerhead, attached to a single seater fighter. It's just insane. It's a beautiful, beautiful ship, the F8. But like I said to you all before we started the show, I'm waiting for the Sabres equivalent.
Yeah, I think I dropped out for a second there.
Oh,
but,
no problem. Just mute.
There we go.
There we go. Perfect.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, don't you love MDI?
Yeah. We love it.
So the advert for the arrow was pretty cool. I quite like that. So that was, I think it's Alex, I can never remember his numbered thing at the end, but the one that we interviewed at BritterzenCon that recently joined. He did a lot of videos beforehand, and he recently joined CIG to work on stuff like this. So I think he had a hand in this. I remember seeing a tweet from him. But it's always a Cutlass getting its ass kicked.
Yeah.
It's the whipping boy.
It's kind of a hardship to really... I would like to see that in the flesh, if I'm honest, because I know how good the Cutlass is, and I don't think it's going to be quite such a whipping boy, based on what I'm seeing.
I mean, it's like the advert that we saw when we originally saw the Cutlass, and it's doing all the whole floaty thing. And it's like, yeah, come on, let's see that actually happen. No, it doesn't happen. It's just what we...
No, the Cutlass is incredibly maneuverable for its size. It's probably, I think, one of the most maneuverable ships of its class. It's got very good firepower. It's
punches above its weight class for sure.
Punches way above its weight class. It's got very good. It's got military grade spec, like pretty much shields now and armor. It's a drop ship. It carries vehicles. It carries cargo. I've said this before. I firmly believe if you have $100, whatever it is, the best ship in the game to buy is the Cutlass. That's the best starter ship. Oh, we've lost. We've all gone around. Is that me gone this time?
As well. Nice freaking Skype shit.
Oh boy.
The NDI is good.
Here we are.
It's not
Here we are praising it.
Yeah.
I see 2 of me. That's not good. That's never good.
It's all good.
Hallo, liebe Freunde.
We're still.
It's like
we are still
chairs.
testing. We're still testing.
It booted me out.
It booted you out with your own call.
It booted me out of my own call base.
Oh yeah, and your microphone has reset his level.
What's going on?
Oh, has it?
Well, what's going on is
and my microphone reset as well. It's great.
This is the weirdest bug in the world. Like, we haven't been able to figure out. Like, you need to record that shit and like send it off to some expert somewhere.
There's one thing I can test, which I'll have to do later, is if my microphone back to default, because at the moment my default is the voice labs, but yeah. Anyway, it was a quick fix. There we go. We're all back.
One last thing about the arrow. Would it be so that they created that ship in their mind?
Just to fit the logo.
Was it there first, or did they change the logo? I can't remember, but if I have a quick look, it's still...
I think Aegis logo was always like that. But it does perfectly fit the Aegis.
Yeah, it's got that.
It does look like an arrowhead.
I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah.
I was just wondering that.
And someone put a picture on Twitter of it with its trowels coming out the back. Like if you drive nice and straight, it just looks like an arrow shaft. So it literally looks like an arrow, which is pretty cool. It is. I'm honest. I'm not 100% sold on the look of it, but it's pretty good.
I don't know,
It's
I love that
I was gonna
we're
say certain
getting
angles. It looks a little
Yeah.
bit weird. Am I still got? No, my microphone's not muted. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. It just looks a little bit weird on some angles. I think from above it looks really good. And it's the folding wings. I suppose I kind of get it, but they just seem almost pointless. The folding wings.
What's wrong, Madness?
He loves the folding wings. No, he loves folding wings.
It's-
for
I mean,
no reason.
Oh,
I get crap folding wings. Look at the crappy wings on the Mustang. For
I never said
example.
I
you
loved.
said to
I
me-
never said I loved the
They're
crappy wings on the Mustang
Okay.
either.
But-
you know,
no,
it
you
You
just-
can
didn't, but
trim them
that's
with a
terrible.
multi-tool. It's fine.
But these are okay because these they're the right they're the right type.
but it
I
can't.
guess
It hasn't got wheels on its landing gears, has it? So it can't travel with the wings like that.
No, with
Like,
that
you can't-
attitude.
No, I'm sorry.
I've seen you crash it. It definitely can. It definitely can travel with those wings on the ground in pieces.
You can't
behind
taxi it
Um,
with the wings up. So, like, what's the fucking point?
But are we going to be taxing ships now? Is that what you think?
That's what
You
they
think we'll be
want,
taxing
yeah.
our ship?
That's what they want.
I don't know if they. I think Then that means that I think they would literally have to. No, they're going to have vaults on. You're still going to be able to vertically take off to a percentage. It's just going to eat up a lot more fuel, so you're going to want to do it for as little time as possible, and then kick in your main thrusters to go. I honestly don't think it's not an issue.
I mean, maybe we'll get more like VTOL carrier ships or some such.
Yeah, you get.
Help out
Yeah,
there.
definitely. You're going to get more
Like
of
the
those, for
Polaris.
Sure. Polaris. Well, you got the Carrack, you got the Polaris, you've got all of the capital ships. Maybe they'll do a couple more, but I just think they won't. Yeah, I would mean probably redesigning a shit ton of ships again just so that they can taxi. I can't. See it.
That-
But could you imagine? Could you
I
imagine
wouldn't put
trying
it
to
past
land
CIG.
those
You
ships?
wouldn't put it past them.
It's never too late, man. It's never too late.
No, it's never too late. But I'm just like, oh my god! Can you imagine how it's hard enough watching Miz land normally, let alone watching him have to try and then land.
Have you taken off with the arrow with the wings still up in landing gear and like tried to do maneuvering with it?
You have to do it twice. You have to do the N and then do it again, and then it will fix itself or something. for
Oh, does it? Because
maneuvering,
I had all
it's
the
got a
wings
bug.
up and went
got
up,
a
and it was
bug.
just so slow. It was slow. I still managed to
Yeah,
hit
yeah.
the hangar doors. But
Yeah.
It's the thing is, right now, this is a different thing, right? The complaint is because I was talking to Bristol Boy about this today, and like the context for Levski and everything else is you have to scroll all the way through them because I got like a massive contact list. I was in the arrow, so this is what my first attempt at trying to fucking fly the thing is. I went up in the air a bit, and because I thought I'd had permission to take off, which I hadn't. So I then looked to try and find to communicate with the fucking landing people. By the time I found it and talked to them, they despawned my ship, and I just flew from the ground like, it's like, you bastards! It's like and this is like when it's new and you just want to go and fly it and try. It's like, come on, I want to try. I want to try it. And it takes like
a
half an
stupid option.
hour. It takes like fucking half an hour to get from your bed in Hurston to fly all the way over to where the ships are, to get to your hangar bay, and then it fucking despawned on me. It's
They
like,
need to figure out seriously quick. I don't understand why this is taking so long. Clearly, there are obviously more important things, but to the average gamer, having to scroll down to find the Levski landing communication
It
button
needs to be at the top.
is insane.
put it on top or add a hotkey. That's all there is to it.
it should always be on top though, because if you put just like a separate box that says nearest landing zone, like I said to Bristol, there's only going to be one landing zone that you're going to be near, so it would go at the top.
Yeah.
It's one of those like really infuriating things. It's like seems to be so easy to fix. I don't know if anyone's made a game before, but that just doesn't feel like that should be a really
I think
thing to do. Surely.
My biggest headache comes from the font coloring in the game. I always struggle to read text of my HUD when I'm approaching planets, moons, whatever. I never can read that shit.
They fixed that, didn't they?
No,
ISO 2.0,
no.
That was meant to be. They made it so that it was really clear for everyone to be able to read their HUD.
Hell no.
I mean, the in-game chat is like a lottery of different colors.
The in-game chat depends on
Some days it's
your
pink.
ship or whatever. But if you're approaching a blue moon, let's turn the color to blue. if you approach a yellow moon, let's change the color to yellow. What the fuck? Look at it. It happens.
I'm all sunshine and roses, so you carry on.
I'm sitting here streaming with my nose against the monitor to read the goddamn text.
Excuse me, folks.
Yeah. Trying to figure out where to land.
Well,
Thank
I mean,
you.
that's what took me so long to find Levski, the Lorville communication as well, because I couldn't find. I was up and down, saying, it's not even alphabetical either, is it?
No, it's not alphabetical. No.
It's like...
It's reverse alphabetical by prime numbers.
Yeah, well, it depends how many letters are in the word and who's on at the time and everything. Oh, it's crazy. I mean, in their defense, kind of, I presume that you speak to a lot of devs and they all say they don't actually get time to play the game. Now, I suppose QA do, they should know, but they play it in sections, I think, and they test certain parts. So if you're not playing it from like A to B as a player and not having to, like, they probably just spawn ships and shit like that instead of having to fuck about. Whereas as a player, it's like, even the train journey, now I'm kind of getting a little bit where Vertigo was going with that after trying 5 times to fly the arrow because of having to get on the train, wait for the train. So under normal circumstances, that wouldn't matter too much, I suppose, because you shouldn't keep dying and doing it. But yeah, when you're doing a testing like an alpha and things are buggy, and I think I fell through the floor one time and I rolled out of my bed. And
you guys?
Sir?
I was saying things are buggy for you guys?
A little bit. Like, sometimes. I rolled out of my bed and it rolled out the wrong side and went through Levski and through Lorville, just through the building. It was like, this isn't working.
With his bed sheets.
Yeah. Parachute. But no, it's still good fun. And so, away from the saltiness, the whole thing we were talking about is the Expo. I love what they've done with that. And put it in game, and because I was expecting another series of just videos on the website, so that was actually quite a big surprise to me, and I'm really pleased with what they've done with that. I think it's when the ship's loads, of course.
It's quite impressive how they've. I mean, I'm like, we're just talking. This is why. I mean, I guess why I get a little bit grumbly, because like, look at how much work went into doing that, and yet they still can't get a silly button on a comm display so that we can get out of. That's been around for a while, for a few patches now. That's why I kind of get a little bit grumble, because it's like, clearly the priorities are a little bit different. But yeah, it's such a good idea and really well executed. And I mean, there's a few bugs, didn't they? Really, they had a few things going on. I mean, there's the occasional server that doesn't have the ships in them, which is kind of like a bit of a frustration, because you spend quite a while to go over. Now I go into com chat and I ask people and say, "Are there ships in this server?" before I even go over there, because it's a bit of a hassle to run all the way over there. Some people do. You get the trolls that say no, and then you go, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And then you're like, then someone says yes, and someone says no, and you're like, "Okay, which one of you bastards is lying?"
Yeah,
it's like the what's it, the labyrinth, where you got the gate and the two door knockers. One's telling the truth and one's lying, and you got to work your way through it.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. That's annoying, but most people are pretty good. So, it definitely helps me figure out how to get around Hurston more. I mean, I now know exactly where to go.
I know the running snake route perfectly.
Yeah.
I tried to do it blindfolded basically the other day. I almost got part of the way through.
Nice.
I did the mistake of alt-tabbing on the train, so I went all the way there, and I went all the way back. And then I got out the train and I thought, this isn't... And I even ran. I got out the train and I ran when I alt-tabbed back in. So I was like, oh, it's here. Shit, get off the tram. Because it must have gone there and back pretty quick. So I got off, started running. I was thinking, this looks familiar. Oh, shit, I've gone from the spawn point. I had to turn around and go back. It's like, oh, fuck.
I couldn't... Is there a way... That's a good point, because I did that the other day. I was just happened to walk away from my desk briefly, and then I came back again, and I was at a station, and I was like...
What station?
Am I at this station? How long have I been there? You didn't know how long I've been away. I was like, have I been long enough away for it to have gone back again? And am I waiting at the first one, or am I actually at the original destination or the newer destination? I just got really confused. So I just took a gamble and came off. But is there a way to tell the minute you step off the train? Is there any sort of
sign above, right?
Yeah.
Is it literally above you as you get off any of the doors? Is there above?
I'm too busy running for the exit to see that.
Yeah,
I think there should actually be a blue sign or a red sign to specify the different regions. the spaceport, blue, and the red one is the outside the gates.
Hmm.
Don't know the other one.
But is that noticeable? Easy enough?
But I don't know if it's really visible though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like 10 steps out or so. I think you can just.
I think it's the rush, the whole like, I want to get to the expo.
Oh, yeah.
You're not looking really, I suppose. But I mean, when you're sitting there waiting for the journey, it feels like a long journey. But then when you alt tab and you don't know how long away you've been, you think it's a lot quicker than you expect.
Absolutely.
Cool. So, who did we find out? So has everyone here bought an arrow then?
I haven't, no.
I'm about to. I decided like yesterday. All right, I need one.
Yeah, it took me about.
I need one.
Yeah.
We all tell ourselves that.
No, I need, man. I got the shakes. You don't understand.
Itches, scratching. I had that even before the anniversary thing started. I was already lining up ships and moving things around. I was like, all right, I'm going to get this one, move this one, I bought this one, right, ready to go. Oh crap, the arrow came out. Shit.
Yeah.
Scratch.
Change of plans.
Scratch.
I can stop when I want to. I just don't want to.
I'm just like, do you know, it was really harsh though, because like as soon as I bought it, I then got a notification that the T1600 Thrustmasters were on half price sale, and I could have bought 2 joysticks.
I did tell you that before. I was like, you know, what
mine are in
you
America,
doing?
so that would have been nice.
Like, so did you buy it with new money then, rather than like, you know, even though the last 3 times you've been on, you said your wife said you're not allowed to spend any more money on RSI, Star Citizen, and everything
NBA.
else.
She's in the kitchen.
She's in the chat. I'll write him out.
Hey, I mean RSI though. I mean that sounds like a loop there.
A loophole right there. I bought mine from CIG, so it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I bought Anvil, so it's okay, man.
I mean, I'm guessing he basically knows that if he buys joysticks, it's physical, so she'll see them. Whereas if he buys it on the internet and she can't see it, it's fine. She doesn't know what ships he's got until I send her the Christmas list of these ships that he actually currently owns. Is this what pushed you over to Concierge as well? Because I saw you post, "Oh, I'm Concierge," but I didn't know if that was new or whether this pushed you over to it.
No. I've been concierge. I'm not concierge. I haven't been concierge for ages.
For those watching the podcast that doesn't know what concierge is, why don't you explain it to us, Madness?
Oh.
Yeah. So which F8 Lightning do you have? Do you have the?
No, God, no. I did buy it with money. Yes, it was the Warborn version. And I have.
I mean, you're basically
concierge
making
for
money.
a while. I have been a concierge for a while. I like I said, like for me, I'm all about that single fire experience. And the way I look at it is, I've got the Gladius. I love the Gladius. I'd love to have another similar Gladius that I can jump into, and like, it's going to give me maybe a different flying experience. We don't know what the flight model is going to be like, so I thought to myself, it's another LTI token. At the end of the day, it's if I love it, I'll keep it. If I don't, I won't. I'll just upgrade it to something. And
I do love
it's a beautiful ship. It's a
I
beautiful
love
ship.
how Star Citizens justify their purchases. It's just
Always.
wonderful. It's like,
Always.
it's an LTI.
No, I mean you're
token.
basically making money if you buy the Warbond version. You think about it.
Oh, not even in the slightest. No. When you think that your normal game that you buy, even on the extreme, I mean, I buy most of mine discounted, but when you're buying it like 60 quid full
I've got
price,
no answer to this. It's
yeah,
just like,
it's not even
listen to my
remotely
wife
close.
again. This is the relationship it is with this. It's unbelievably true. It's so true. But you know, I think every person here that's bought any spaceship in game knows exactly how I feel. It's really it's called buyer's remorse to a point, but I'm not going to lie, I didn't have any remorse when I stepped in it and I took off because I was just like, this is amazing. I loved it straight away. So
I thought that until it then came straight back down to the planet and bounced. And then I was like, I don't really get what people... Like, the advert was this nimble thing that's flying around and doing loops, and all mine did was just belly flop 3 times and blow up. And it's like, this isn't very good.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been in it since.
Well, you know, I mean, I work a very stressful job, so and then I've been very ill, and so you know, I need something to make me feel better. Maybe make me something feel better, and so yeah, so
That's
that's
right. It was a Thanksgiving present. It's fine.
It's just like emotional eating.
no, those two are coming later. There's two more that I want. There's two other ships that I want desperately. So we can talk about that later.
Have you heard this thing
We'll
called
talk about it now.
earning ships in game?
Did I talk about this? Did I talk about the ships I want? I did, didn't I? On Monday show, the Banu Defender, right? I talked about that.
You did talk about the Banner
Yep.
Defender, yeah.
Yeah, I read up more on it, and it's made me more want it. It's $180, I think, on the last time it was sold. So I'm like, absolutely want that ship badly. So yeah, I've already planned it out. Upgrade is already there to go, good to go. So as soon as that's available, Wednesday, I think they are, or is it when? Is it
I
Mystery?
think
Tuesdays.
Wednesday is the alien ships, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's Defender.
that is
so
the
yeah,
Defender,
Wednesday,
is the
so-
Banu, so yeah.
Banu, yeah. So that'll be that, and then I think Misk is my other one. So the Freelancer Max. So the Freelancer Max and the Banu Defender are the last two ships. Not sure about that Sanoki.
That's what that's what Asnok's just talking about in chat. And it's like,
Sandpiper thing.
he says it's got like a
I don't know.
$220 price tag, so he says it should be a cutlass size. But I think that might be wrong because they have such a premium on them that $220 is probably more like a starter size for a freaking.
Well, I mean,
alien
and they
ship.
showed like the picture of it a little bit, and if you see the picture of the guy standing near it, it doesn't look.
It
cutlass
doesn't, but then there
size.
is sometimes perspective, and they
Yeah.
could be tricking you. And then some people have said
Yeah.
that there's different ways of looking at the picture because it could look more like it's facing you, and then bits on the side are like it's wings rather than front to
Maybe you
back.
can only crawl in it or something.
So
Yeah. I can talk about the because we're talking about Origin, so we just mentioned about the Origin. One of the ships that I bought and got in line with was the Origin 325A, because that has got a mentally good loadout. It's got two size 3s and one size 4. So it's got a two size 3 Omnis. It comes standard with it, which are the most powerful gun at the moment. The Omnis at the moment retail AUEC in game will set you back around 18,000 each. So you're looking at 36,000 to 37,000 AUEC just to restock the two guns plus the size 4 on the front. I don't know what the value of that is. I'd have to check. That firepower alone is insane. With the new flight model coming into effect as well, and the way that the Origins, obviously you've seen it, looks beautiful. The new 300 looks incredible. The new styling. That ship, the Origin 300 series, I know Nubify did a video recently about it. It's definitely something to have sitting in your bank account for the money. I think it's only like $70 or something to have a 325. It's
That's
super
crazy.
cheap. And it's got two size 3s and a size 4 on it. I mean, if you don't have that sitting in your hangar and you're a combat pilot, you're crazy. That should be as a standard sat there waiting to go to see.
Well, I
how
mean, like I have
it's
a Titan, and I mean, I could probably upgrade that. I have a Stalker,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. You know, it's if you're interested in combat or interested in that type of thing, it's definitely something to think about. I know the 350R will be interesting because of the flight model as well. We just don't know yet, so that's why I've stuck with the 325A because the firepower and it's just great because of that, really, because of having those loadout. Obviously, loadouts aren't permanent, so but the way I look at it is like, what's the big deal? I can always upgrade it or change it later. So yeah, the Origin, and like I said, the 300 now just looks so good, so pretty. I don't know about you guys.
Starburgers, well, to tie that in anyway, so we just got a question, and it's from Starburger, and he's actually said, what do you guys think about the 300i rework, and do you think it'll have a coffee machine in it?
We've seen there's pictures of the interior. So there's a full.
Have we got them on here?
Selection.
There were some.
Yeah. Page number 40
I see, yeah.
is
40.
internal call. It's also there's the 300i spinning versus the
Yeah, let's
previous
show
one.
that
So
bit
the
off
first one
first.
shows the spinning, and the second one shows you all pictures of the internals. So at the moment, it looks pretty.
There you go.
It looks gorgeous, like really pretty. It's got like a fridge
dude.
and
I despise the original 300i. I'm sorry, 300 series owners. It looks. But
It looks like
but
two
the new
things
one.
pushed together.
Yeah. I wanted to love it. It's like the redheaded stepchild. I just don't want it near me. But it looks better now.
It looks beautiful, but it's not my style of ship. No.
Oh, it looks like it's going to be.
And
a
it turns
place to
into a
take the
Grinch, apparently.
ladies. You want to take your ladies on a. It's take a ladies in luxury. This thing is honestly. It is lovely. It's like a boat. It does feel like luxury boats. Do you know what I mean? Like a Revo. Like is it the Revo, the Rivara? I can't pronounce it, but with the kind of the walnut dash and the kind of the trim finishing and the chrome finishing, and just feels like a super high end luxury caravan. You know, internally, really expensive caravan.
Grinch is just going with them. Yeah. Where's the internal one? Cockpit.
This one there, you've seen the internal one, number 47.
No,
that rework internal pics.
Oh, did I open the wrong link?
Number
yes,
47.
I did.
Number 30.
Yeah, it's right. The other one opened up instead.
Wheel.
That's why.
I mean, it's basically just like a better Titan. Seems like it, at least.
Is it? It's price. Is it pricier than a Titan?
Not much.
I like the
25. Not much.
Yeah, I like the roof thing they've added. They've copied like the kind of Phoenix, so you can see out the sun roof or star roof or whatever it is people are calling it. Star roof.
Yeah.
It's more glass that can break in my eyes, but never mind.
Unbreakable glass. The only thing we have to worry about.
Crack going.
Do you want struts? Because this is how you get struts.
Scratchy windows.
Scratched. So long as it's not scratched glass, because I'm going to tell you, I did have a picture of. You seen the arrow when you hit dark light?
Yeah.
And kind of missed it. You see the scratches all over. Yeah. It's terrible. When you have obviously bright light, you don't see anything, but in the dark light, it's awful. Visibility is terrible.
Yeah, you think you buy a new ship, but then it's just used. It's all scratched and it's not new.
We'll talk about that, Chris, later. We've got that on the topic list, Chris, to talk about. Don't worry. We'll be talking about that later, dude.
I think this is like first pass, so they haven't added in the scratches yet. I think that's what's happening.
No, God.
I hope they never will.
No.
They got to sandpaper it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you stand up in this, or is it too shallow to stand up in?
You stand up in that.
It kind of looks like it's not.
Sorry, kitchen, if you couldn't.
If they
you
do
can
that,
do it on your knees. It's fine. You just
at
sit
the
on the
height.
bed and sit on the bed
Look at
and
the
lean
height
over.
of your bed.
if they do that again, they'll have it'll have to be redone again, because that is the stupidest. That's like all the problems they've had with all of the other ships before, is clipping your head at the top of it. So they must have checked the heights, surely.
Well, the bed
Please,
doesn't
yeah,
look.
you can't be
That doesn't
stupid
look
enough
that
again.
tall.
It really isn't. If you stand up out of bed and stand in the middle, I think your hair almost touches the star roof.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. No, I'm sure it's fine. So the only somebody did mention about the 300 series where he had a concern about the 300 in terms of was the cockpit. Surprise. And he was showing the cockpit in all the different patches. So he's got the 1.9 patch cockpit in the 300 series, then in the 3.0 patch, the series, and then the 3.35. And he's basically talking about how much the dash has got further and further up to reduce the visibility. So you're seeing less and less lower, like kind of a y-axis information. You're just seeing predominantly x-axis, which I thought was very interesting.
Turning it into a Starfarer.
Yeah, which I thought was, I was like, I see. But you have to obviously fly it to understand. But I was like, I think they talked about how they might make chairs adjustable as well, so you might be able to adjust your seat position a little bit more. But I don't know why they do that, because like we're talking about seeing the HUDs. Do you know what I mean? They've made it a big dash, but then the idea was to make it so that you could read the HUDs better. But when you actually look at it from 3.35, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to see them very clearly. But then if you look at the rework, and I was looking at the rework internally, and I was going, oh, okay, it looks like the HUD information is going to be all clear screen glass, and they'll put the information on.
Yeah, like they do with the Freelancer, where it all hovers.
Yeah.
Up above. I quite like that though. I think that's better in some ways than having screens.
Yeah.
Like if the Freelancer can have the technology to do that, then why don't they do that with the other stuff?
Yeah. Exactly.
I'll show the HUD one in a second. I did open that one in a minute. I was just looking through these pictures on here.
Sorry.
Is the toilet like right by the door? So you can kind of have a crap and lean out and go, "All right, mate."
I think it has its own like little sliding door thing.
All right. What's that in front of it? It looks quite open. I mean,
It's the fridge.
if someone's gonna like,
Yeah,
someone's
it's
gonna get
double door,
number,
right?
two,
For the
number two
fridge.
in there, it's the whole ship is gonna smell pretty bad.
You're taking a shit, someone opens the fridge, you put your hand in it, hand them a cold beer. Here you go,
Oh,
buddy.
it's a double way. It's a double way fridge, so you can have a beer from both sides. Nice.
That's luxury for you.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't
I
get
mean,
any
that's
better
it.
than this.
Doesn't get more luxurious than having a beer on the bog.
All right, I'm sold.
I mean, if you like that sort of ship, it's looking more and more like the 600i. So they're all looking almost like boats. Like I think someone said it was like they're not like yachts. So they're like different levels of yachts. They're definitely going more down that route. Which I mean, if you're going to have different manufacturers having a kind of theme, it makes sense. I think.
My only criticism would be
it's quite big.
The nose area looks a little bit like a duck.
It does look a little bit flat
Yeah,
and
yeah.
round. I did just
Why is
say
that a
when I
criticism,
saw
man?
that. Yeah. What's wrong with
It's just,
ducks?
well, no, because we have the penguin. We'll have the penguin and the duck. That's the way I was kind of thinking of it, of the ships next to each other. That was my only kind of when I saw the front of it. It's kind of a bit round. It looks like a bill, a beak, like kind of a duck on the.
It's
front.
actually
That was
big,
my
but it's
I mean,
bigger
ducks
than
are
it looks.
fearsome.
It's bigger than it looks.
No, not really. I'm just thinking Daffy Duck. That's all I keep looking at it, and I just keep thinking of Daffy Duck.
You're thinking of geese. Geese are fearsome. Not so much ducks.
Yeah,
Swans.
Just from a certain angle, the duck beak is better.
I suppose this is also made for people that like, spying
I do
on
love
people
the
because you
back.
can just go around the outside and watch someone sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's reassuring. Thanks.
As you do.
Yeah.
It's like, hello.
It could be kind of swan-like. It's
It looks like a croc,
I don't know.
actually, doesn't it? Looks a bit like a croc.
Definitely an egret. Definitely.
Beautiful
nothing like a
croc.
Definitely looks like the front of a croc.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to call
Change
it.
the color to
We're
orange.
going to
though.
call it the croc for now, I think.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, there's
Well,
loads of
it's be-
pictures. That
it is-
person got
it is
excited.
nice. He did get a little excited, didn't they?
Okay, so
But there's some
cockpit
nice-
between 3.0 and 3.5.
So there's 3 point. Yeah, see, look at the. He's done a little to show how much more the HUD in his is gone up. So I mean,
Yeah,
again,
but I
it's
don't know
hard
if
to tell
that's
'cause
true
this
though,
isn't
is it?
written for
Because if you look at the one with the yellow mark, he's put the gap between the crosshair and the dashboard. But then if you look at his speed dial, it's almost touching. Whereas if you look on the other one, he's put all the targets close, but the speed dial's like gone up higher. So
Yep.
is it just where he's aiming the guns more? I don't know.
I don't,
doesn't-
again, unless other people, I don't have I've only just bought one, so I cannot.
It kind
can't
of
make
looks
it.
like
It
this
was-
cross section on the
showed
left, maybe,
pictures.
but yeah.
If you go to
Yeah.
the first one, 1.9, this is one of the very, very first one.
Oh,
See the totally
oh,
different.
didn't see that one.
it's-
Yeah.
So right at the very, very first.
Yeah,
one, so
1.9 is-
that shows you there's a totally
Whoa.
different kind of.
Yep.
The original.
Distance to dash, is that a new thing? D to D.
Oh no.
Distance to dashboard.
dash.
Oh yes. Let's get all the ships up and let's compare D to Ds.
But but it just shows you how much rework this ship has had. You know, again, this is the thing. Is
What ship
people
hasn't?
forget? You know, from way back before 2.0 was released, you have that was what it looked like then, and then we have obviously the new iteration, and then now we have another iteration again of the 300 series. So you know, I wonder if it'll get a further iteration. I wouldn't be surprised. Really wouldn't be surprised. But I think they've done a good job.
Well, there are still some changes in the for the future Desmaria set. So
Yeah. And I also agree with Asnog in terms of like if you don't like the look of the ship, don't buy it. Don't keep
Yeah.
getting CIG to change it so that it fits what you want. If it doesn't fit what you want, then choose another fucking manufacturer. That's the whole point.
exactly.
And I feel like there's a solid amount of ships also in that like range too, so it's not even that crazy. It's not like it's your only option.
Yeah,
Your only
and
prospector.
I think we'll eventually get a lot more ships in all that. So you've got a good choice when it comes to a ship, and that'll be the beauty of it. That's why you hopefully will see different variants of ship rather than everybody flying an Aurora, everybody flying a flipping Hornet, because people like the looks of things, and that's why, in some ways, like I know people love to min max and get the best loadout, but I'm more of the one that will just get something that I like the look of and that it feels right. So if the more people that you got like that, then the more chance you got a variety in the game rather than just everybody flying the tank that you're supposed to fly. But I mean, again, the same with like the roles of the ships as well. Like, there's Madness says there's something really good about killing someone in a cheap ship when they're in their really expensive fighter, because why not? If you got the skill to do it, it's awesome. And it's the same way as I'm better suited to flying a brick or at least a tank ship than I am a light thing that's going to fall apart when you sneeze on it, because I'll sneeze on it and it will break. So there's no point me flying one, even if it's the best ship in game. So
nothing like killing folks in your cheap glaive. Am I right? Anyone?
Yeah, this is
in your cheap. Well, I mean, the materials are cheap. Yeah.
To be fair, it's actually fun. Winning in the glaive is actually.
I have a glaive.
It's
Hashtag save the glaive, please.
I love alien ships, so I'm all for that.
Completely rework it. It needs to be brought up to speed with the design styling cues of the other one. What's called the blade? If the blade is meant to be the current Vandal styling, then the glaive needs a little bit of a rework. But then you could justify it by saying, okay, the real glaive the Vandal fly now looks more like a menacing, mean machine, and the one that you have is like an old version. That was found and kind of adapted to fit.
It was like their grandfathers or something,
In some ways, that would be pretty cool story wise if you got all these people in their pinned up glaives thinking, oh, I'm gonna, and all of a sudden the new army comes and you're like, what the fuck is this? This isn't what we're expecting. And they've all had reworks and newer ships, because why would we have the latest technology that they're flying? Yeah. And then that would be a cool thing for in-game, because it could drip feed through. So eventually you could capture some and you could go through the process of actually updating alien ships by being in the game for long enough. That would be a really cool feature, I think.
Yeah, Chris said it. There will be things in the game that you cannot buy, or you not cannot buy, but you haven't been able to buy. Leading up to it, there's going to be
unless your wallet's stick
and new stuff. Yeah, well, he said it, so I'm gonna take him as foolishly as that is on his word for that. So until he breaks that one, but for now, I'm gonna take him in his word that that's what he says, and I hope he sticks to it, because I think it will enrich the game no end for everybody. If there are things in game that you cannot buy, I really do. I think he needs to do that personally to keep it exciting.
Well, I mean, they've said that the reason we got the Vandal ones is because they're captured. So I do think, and I think it's like the Bengal and stuff. They said you're never actually going to own one.
Until someone throws like
a net over it.
Yeah. Until we get someone figures out how to steal one.
50K backer rewards.
We've got to give them something. We've got to give them something. What can we give them? Well, fuck it, give them a Bengal or two.
Well, I think I said this off stream. I think what will happen is like, we have, what's the current marker? Is it the Legatus pack? Is that the top end Legatus? Is that
25 grand? Is it something like that?
25 grand, and you get 10 grand. You get 10 grand. You get the F8, right? For £10,000, you get $10,000. You get the F8 is the ship rewarded, not the military version, just the civilian version, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's no military version has ever been given away at any amount of money. It's just always the civilian version, I believe.
Unless you can buy the loadouts.
Well, yeah, of course. However. Yeah, I don't know about. I'll talk about that later. But I think that, like I said before, off stream, I was saying, Aegis are always been, or the longest military one. We just talked about it. It was on the video today. They got like the most number of ships. Blah 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 blah. For me, Aegis will definitely have at some point their version of an F8 combat ship. And I'll be like a super,
they're not gonna
stealth super.
The super saver. I mean.
Yeah, super same man now, but it'll be something else.
Does it come with the carrier bag?
I mean, if the anvil has the lightning, they could do the Aegis storm.
Sorry, it's a shop we have over a Super Saver, or had.
The Aegis 20% off bag. No, hang on, bag the bag
for life.
They've already got the LTI for life. Oh my god. No, that ship. I think will come, and I'm just curious if they'll give that as if that'll be in the game, or if that will be a ship that will be for
big bucks again. So like a special, when you do 30 grand or something, or maybe it'll be another capital ship, for that kind of money. They've got to do something because people are just keep creeping up all the time. People.
I mean, they can just keep doing like gold skins or something.
They can do, but
Ask Miku.
they need to,
Yeah.
for
Basically, you might.
reward.
I mean, when Clifford's like the only one that's getting up there, so he may as well just ask him, "What would you like as a 50 grand
do you
backer
want? Yeah.
reward?"
Yeah.
Well, he's the one that we know of, but there will be several others, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
few others, I'm sure. And people, if you're already giving it at 10,000, for example, the FA. So I don't know. Just in my head, I'm just like, and I just doesn't in my head of lore understanding and the way that ships are and stuff. I'm like, Anvil wouldn't be the only people to have this super. And every time you have one super powered ship like that, you need to have at least another one equal next to it because it just feels weird because then everyone will just get that ship. Everyone's going to get it when Squadron 42 is out because that's part of the reward. I believe Chris said is if you complete Squadron 42, you'll be able to get an
I
FA.
believe so, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that was under like special circumstances. No, so it'd be like I always thought of it as like a Halo 3, beat it with all skulls on legendary. Like you get the option of buying it.
I can guarantee that if I will work my ass off to do whatever it takes to get it, and there'll be people who will probably try and take people's accounts to like in other games if they can't do it get them to do it. You know what I mean? It'll become like a profitable thing. If people who can't do it will be like, okay, give you my account detail number, off the market.
Oh God,
here you go. Thank you very much. And then they'll
it's like Chinese gold sellers, but instead it's going to be ship.
Oh, no.
I'll buy your account to get you the FA.
It will.
But I feel like you would probably still have to buy it in game either way, and I mean that ship's not going to be cheap.
No, but it's
Well,
not
that's
going
an
to be
interesting point. Is it going to be a retirement present from the military, or is it something you're going to have to actually go?
But if it's a civilian version too, it's probably going to be super gimped. I don't know. Do you guys think it'll be like the Idris M&P?
The theory is that is based on it is like
for when it goes to civilian at the moment I think it's 6 size 3 potentially. There's 2 size 2s on there, so it's like 6 size 3s potential for fix this is, and then there's 2 size 5s. But people reckon they'll probably take the 5s off, put 2 size 4s on it, and then you'll either have 4 size 3s and 2 size 2s, or it could be still 6 3s and 2 size 4s, maybe still. And I think the actual current loadout is insane. I think it's 6 times 3s and 2 times 5s. It's nuts loadout. Which is, anyone knows that kind of firepower, it's insane.
Scary.
Until you press the fire button once and then it says weapons overheated.
Yeah.
no. They won't. It'll have the
weapons overheated.
yeah.
Done.
Fire it 5 times and the weapons blow up.
things.
Sorry, you damaged them to
God.
shit.
God, honestly,
This wasn't for shooting; it was civilian, man. It was just crazy.
Yeah, they're for
In
looks.
your
It keeps the things weighted as you go to land. They're just there.
yeah, no. So yeah, like
I do agree. I think that they won't probably just give you one, but like the truth is if they do make it some sort of thing that you can get, like I said, people will want it and get it somehow, and they'll figure out a way. And if it's behind certain statistics, there will be some way of doing it. People will sell accounts or do whatever it is to take it.
Or enough people
especially if it's the-
complain, and then
the
they
most
make it
powerful shit.
easier.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe
you
that's
too
it,
can
yeah.
have it for only like 10 payments of 1K.
You know?
Wow, have you guys seen the funding counter that Starburger just posted?
203
Yeah.
million. What's that? 2.5 million since it started.
yeah.
Insane.
Or was it only? No, we only reached 200, didn't we? So it's been 3.5 million
Yeah.
since the sale started.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Rightly
CIG
so,
have got
though.
problems with money. Just so you know.
Yeah.
90 days, man.
It's tough. It's tough working for CIG. They're on the bread line. Is the game going to be made?
Yeah.
They always seem to manage to make the best patches come out just before they do the anniversary sale. Have you ever noticed that, guys? It seems to be that they always seem to
It's
have
funny
the good
that, and
stuff
it's
right
funny
when
that they
run to
meet the
sale.
deadline. It's like we've got to get this out before the sale, and
Yeah.
they do. It's
Yeah.
funny.
And they do.
shit.
It's amazing. It's like, how did that happen?
It's like they held back.
Yes, it's almost exactly that. It's almost like that. But the good thing is like I said, Hurston is amazing. The bind calling stuff is incredible. The fact that I'm seeing, I picked out a few things on Reddit. There's so much love for
Frames all the
Star
time is
at the
so
moment.
good.
There's so much love.
The
so
love
much
is there, and like I was looked the other day because I looked to
it's
host
nice.
someone, and there's just pages and pages of people streaming it, which is awesome as well. It's like
Yeah.
everybody's
Getting lots
loving
of
it.
streamers back in. Which is great. You've got, I think, what was I looking at? There was one person said that, like they've been, not been playing the game since after 2.6, I think it was, and they came back and they just said, holy shit, this is just amazing CRG. Loads of people like that, people who haven't played the game for a while since 3.0 sucked ass and have come back and said, this is just incredible. So, all power to CRG, all power to Star Citizen now to try and
Just
drive
don't
this
mention the
momentum forward.
missions.
Next year is going to be the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Every year.
Man, this is
Played the
this
game
year.
for 5
this
years
year.
in a row. Star Citizen.
This
They
is gonna
ended
be
the
Hey, but it
year
gets
really
better
well.
with each year. I mean,
It does.
They had an amazing sprint towards some good performance and well, I wanted to say content, some content, and
there
the rest
behind a
will
paywall.
follow. Yeah.
I think the beautiful views are there for quite a while yet, and I think just the scale is still just making everybody just go, "Oh my god, this
Yeah.
game is incredible!" That
dude, the
kind of thing.
sunsets every time.
Yeah.
The reason people aren't bored yet is because it's taken them that long just to get anywhere. So it's like normally it would have done everything, but now it's like it's taking me 20 minutes just to get to the ship
I'm
spawn
so-
area. So
So
I've got a
glad
week
that I left Hurston. I'm just relaxed, spawning in Port Olisar.
I know.
and
Everyone
doing
moaned
my
about
own
Port
business.
Olisar. I'm extremely tempted to just go back to Port Olisar so you can like spawn ships quick.
It's the first
I mean,
thing I did.
Get to run SBK as many times as I want. Kind of
Yeah.
nice.
So you were saying about not having fun. Okay, so this is just a little snippet of somebody, and I think the Hammerhead has been a success.
Yeah,
for a
they were
lot of
talking
people.
about
I
that
think
today
since-
as well.
Since they buffed the shields, I think it's
Dude.
helped people have a lot more fun in it, because I think before what was happening is we as combat pilots were shredding it in seconds and no one was
Mhm.
able to have any fun in it. Now people are able to, they made the turrets a bit better.
600 eye
but-
problems.
Yeah, and now they've made it so it doesn't blow up in 5 seconds. So people on board can really actually feel like they're having a little bit more fun.
Multi-crew
and,
action.
Not just make it strong a little bit, they've made it strong, insanely strong. Like I thought Baron had like 12 arrows
Yeah.
trying to kill one the other day on his stream. And granted, let's be honest, Baron doesn't know what he's doing. So clearly that's why they failed miserably. You probably could have done it with 4, but it just showed to me, I was like, wow, okay, that you really do need to make sure you get your communication down tight and you focus your firepower on one area all the time on that thing to take the shields down. Don't have a bunch of randomos shooting it all over the place, because you're never going to do anything. So it was really good to watch it strategically, to watch how not to do it and how to attack Hammerhead. It was a good video, but it just showed me how powerful those shields are.
Have you guys taken a multi-tool to it yet?
Nope.
I
no,
did in
not me,
Eva
not me.
Clarty. I haven't. I did in Eva Clarty.
I broke into one earlier today. I don't know if the original crashed out or something, but we found one just floating in the top like hatch thing above the cockpit.
Mhm.
You can multi-tool open, and then
Really?
like,
Oh, nice.
ram in. If you like float into it and mash open, eventually you'll get the doors to open. And it's
Cool.
yours.
Nice.
Oh, that is cool.
Cool,
I
cool,
will be
cool.
trying that. That's good. It's good to know. The only problem is can you do that on the move?
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck getting splattered.
That's the thing is that's when that for me is like when they
EMPs
enable us to be able to EMP definitely, but then it'll still possibly with the momentum thingy, the inertia thing that they want to bring into place. So if it is on the move, it'll still be on the move even if you EMP it. So for me, once they build this ability for us to be able to not clamp down, because they're not going to be clamping, but to be able to
Reclaimer.
put yourself onto something like. Yeah, the reclaimer would be pretty cool, but the they talked about it with our jets on our spacesuits. We'll be able to create negative whatever it is to keep us pinned onto things.
They did talk about this a while on ATV. I forget what it's called now.
I remember
but
that. Yeah.
This is their equivalent of the clamping technology that we're
The mag boot
mag
thing.
boots that we're not going to get. Yeah. So I'm like, as soon as they do that, then I would be so excited with what you just talked about, because then you could like, I'd love.
In my head, I've always thought about it like if you could like have your mate on board, and then you could have a rope attached to him, and then you could fly up next to the ship, and he's kind of hooked on, and you kind of and then you kind of like land onto it, and then you can kind of detach yourself from the ship, and then you could get your mates, you know, a couple of them, like a drop ship or the prowler. I'm waiting for the prowler to effectively clamp onto the side of things, small little ship, clamp onto it, and then you can get out and do all this stuff. I'm so excited. I saw the multi-tool today for the first time, dude. It's amazing.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
multi-tool's cool.
First time
That's
today.
like probably my favorite thing to do is break things that shouldn't be broken, or maybe should be. So we've been having a lot of fun. I highly recommend trying to clear out SPK with only the multi-tool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna try it.
It's great.
Yeah, no, it's I saw it and I was
Well,
like, because that's going to be salvage. Like,
we had
I
a
don't know
little
anyone else did.
adventure with Bok,
Oh, you tried it?
myself,
Oh, I
and
didn't
was it Starburger that got you in the
We
nuts?
agreed to not talk about it.
No, we didn't.
Oh, please.
And
No,
so
talk about it. I missed it. Talk about
we
it.
went on the little adventure during Bok's stream, and I think Starburger decided to bring out his multi-tool to test it. And I had a finger gun,
It
so
was
I
embarrassing.
equipped my gun, and it wouldn't show the gun. I just had my fingers, so I just kept going pew pew pew, but it actually kind of used ammo up.
Accidentally. Mhm.
And so Starburger says, "Well, look, I wonder if the multi-tool will damage people." So he just kind of went up to Bok and like held it in his nuts and said, "Should we try it?" He's like, "Yeah, go on it. I'm sure it won't." One zap, and then Bok just go.
It's a eunuch. Immediate eunuch.
Collapsed dead on the floor. And so I was like, okay. And then I bashed
Without hesitation.
Starburger with my finger gun, and it killed.
Oh yeah, that was cool. That was a nice shot. Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if this will work. And it just thin air just finger gunned him, and he died.
Power
it
of
was,
suggestion.
Ben
Man.
Les nicked him.
it was interesting, but yeah. So the multi-tool does kill. It's a bit like the mining laser. It will kill.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it looked impressive the way that the metal bends and deforms and takes damage when it gets hit, which is great. And they showed us that, but they showed us that technology before. The way, like in my head, I looked at it as like the gun is almost like a tool that they were using to be able to create the damage to spaceships and stuff many ATVs ago. And it looks like they've obviously just turned it into part of the game, which is fantastic. I wouldn't be surprised, I've said this before, is that's going to be salvage, right? That's going to be your salvage and repair tool. And I think somebody on Reddit posted a video of them fixing. I know it's not officially fixing. I know I was going to say it wasn't, but it doesn't matter. The point was they fixed something, and it looked like they fixed something, and that was like a little insight into the repair mechanics and how the gameplay is going to be, and like getting out your ship and repairing stuff, which I thought, again, I'm like, if that happens next year, salvage and repair next year, as one of the new things by let's just say 6 months, right? We get that for summertime. It means you've got mining, you've got cargo, mission giving will be improved yet again within that period of time.
Hope
you'll
so.
have salvage and repair, and we'll have Hurston, and we'll have buying culling, and all these other things. Like, and ship buying will be continued to be improved, and
renting,
customization potentially. I don't know whenever they do bring that in. Will that be soon, possibly as well? So you can buy maybe ships in the basic colors.
You mentioned the customization.
Yes, we'll talk about the customization in a bit. But yeah, you know, like legit next year, like I'd say this every year, and it's frustrating because I say this with my shoes every fucking year as well. Every time I have my footwear design falls apart just before conference. It's like, next year is going to be the year. But I genuinely think definitely.
You want some money for new shoes?
Huge. No, I don't need
We just said
If they fall apart, oh, dude.
Just give us your address. We'll send you some Crocs. In fact, that's a good idea. Let's get we need to get his
Unbeatable.
address.
Check, please, wife.
We need to do that.
I spent over £15,000 in Star
I'm gonna do a little donation goal. Okay, can we get Madness Crocs? In fact, I think it should be part of the Asylum uniform. To be honest, we've got the T-shirt. We're gonna have Crocs to go with it.
I still need to buy myself a T-shirt.
We can have like
Listen,
where the little where the logo is. there. We're gonna
Yeah, they got the little
put
prop
the
button
Asylum
things,
logo
right?
on it. Yeah.
Look, if you want to come
Nice.
back on the push out, don't ever agree
Sniff
with these
it.
two idiots.
Give it a sniff.
It still smells as fresh as the day I bought it. That's what's so good
Oh,
about it.
that's what I
It's
mean.
beautiful. That's. I mean, that is a shoe. That is a shoe.
Lovely.
Shall I just leave it there
Yeah.
for the rest of the podcast?
I'm buying you for Christmas some Uggs.
Fuck off, they're
Uggs.
worse.
Uggs.
Uggs.
Those are ugly.
How could
Very
you?
Uggs.
How could you
Those
say
are
Go
ugly.
on the top a little bit.
I'm buying those for you,
Prima.
buddy.
Pretty damn
You
fugly.
just put them next to each other.
The
just
amount of
complete
women that
set.
bought Uggs
You do
and
one
they
of
think you could.
each.
They thought that you could just go outside in them, and then they're walking in puddles, going, "Why are my feet wet? Because you're wearing shit boots that don't fucking protect your feet."
They're for surfers, my friend. They're for surfers.
What,
That's
Uggs?
what they're originally designed for. Yeah, Uggs were originally designed for surfers to keep the sand out, keep your feet warm after you surfed all day long.
Yeah, not
You
in
were
the
just
rain.
Chilling out. You were chilling out on the beach, and you just wanted to kind of keep your feet warm. That was what they were for, man.
That's cool.
Super simple. Super simple.
Tell that to the fucking idiots wearing them in the rain.
Oh, you, the croc person, telling
No,
somebody that's
these are
that's literally
made
the
for
pot
wearing in
calling
the
cat
rain.
black.
No, these
anyway,
are made. They got holes
Moving
in,
off
so that the rain goes in, and then the rain comes out. They're designed to
the
wear in the
croc.
rain.
This is
They are
the croc.
perfect. There's
We
nothing.
will discuss this off stream.
The most perfect fucking shoes you could ever have. They're designed. You can wear socks with them. You can wear them bare feet. You can wear them on the beach. You can wear them in the rain. You can go through puddles.
Customization.
Under the shower.
Shit,
And don't even get me started on the
customization.
customization of the Crocs.
Let's talk about customization.
Customization. Yeah, you can put little what they call bits in the holes to make them custom.
Ship customization. They talked about this at
Wrecked
Origin
him.
on the latest
Did
the
they?
latest video. They talked about ship customization.
Mm-hmm.
They confirmed that ship customization is a thing they're doing. It's coming. And then they said something that I didn't hear, and then you guys informed me before we started the show because I was all like, "Oh, ship customization is fantastic! I'm really excited about it. I think it's cool." And then you guys said something about it being about paying for this shit, and I was like, "What? What's going on?" And so, yeah, that's where you guys can explain to me for the first time properly, exactly, because I was like, "So how does it work then?" Based on what they were saying.
From someone else can explain if they want. Oh, okay.
Well, not me.
Okay.
No.
I feel
You
like
take a
Dersus
stab at
has
it.
something to say on this.
Take a
All
sec.
right. I don't know. Oh, well, yeah. So, all right. Well, you got me started.
Get
I
the
warned you earlier, man.
soapbox.
Don't get me started.
No. It's all good. It's all good. You're in a safe, salty environment. It's fine. Go for it.
No. So, it's been one of the things that I've personally been looking forward to. Like, that hasn't been on the roadmap for ever now. But I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of different routes they could end up going with it. It sounded like the way that they were doing their tier 0 implementation, if you will, would be that it would be rolling out with the 300 series, at least for the 300 series. And so it sounded like you'd be able to choose your colors, and then also choosing your loadout to some degree. And so I honestly, I didn't even really think about like the payment as being much of a big thing, other than like, yeah, it'd be like buying things through. I guess it wouldn't be like Voyager Direct though, because those things were overpriced as all else. So I don't know.
So when they were saying like the way they were describing it to you, like in your interpretation, so it was going to be a case of like, I say I've already bought a spaceship.
Yeah.
I've already bought a spaceship and it already comes with a standard loadout. Will I then have to pay a $5 fee to be able to?
I don't think it would be.
change my loadouts?
I don't think it. I think it'd be something that would be coming in game. So it'd be like eventually you have you go to your ship painting place
yeah.
and maybe you could get your basic colors if you wanted like a crazy custom skin like the Dragonfly Star Kitten thing. That might cost in-game cosmetics, but even then, like I don't know. I feel like it would still be.
It's
Possible.
Money's okay. As long as it's
yeah,
not
no,
real
it's
cash.
it's
Yeah.
both.
Extra real cash.
It's
It's both. Okay.
So,
Alright.
well, it's always going to be in game because we already know we can customize our ships now, and there's no reason they're not going to lock you out of customizing your ship in game. you will be able to go and buy certain colours or whatever and get them changed. The announcement / discussion was more based around the fact that they're working on it to work on the website, so that basically before you pledge for your ship, you pick the loadout that you want, the color that you want. A bit like they kind of summarized it as going to like an Audi dealer or whatever and saying, right, well, I want this car. It's brand new, so therefore I can say to you, I want this color on it. I want this size engine in it, and I want tinted windows, blah, blah, blah. And that's what it sounded like to me, that's what they were saying.
But why would you do that? Like, this is where I get really interested with the game and where obviously their heads are still at in terms of CG. Why would you set up all that effort for it to be on the web page when you would want to set all that effort up in the game?
Yeah, and
that's effectively where it should all be.
It kind of didn't make sense. They were
web page.
They were kind of like moaning about their own system, saying, well, at the moment you've got to go through it in game, and you have to go through and change your loadouts in game, like as if that was a bad thing. And they're saying, so we're going to make it easier by having it on the website. It's like, unless, I mean, this could be the other thing if they meant it more in terms of we're going to have a ship manager, but on the website. So absolutely nothing to do with. I mean, I'm sure he did say before you pledge, but maybe they mean more like your mobiGlas on the website, so you can log into your account.
Didn't they talk about that? Doing like a ship manager on the website?
Yeah.
I feel like they did in that. Maybe it was in that video. But yeah.
Well, that's what they were talking about. But
yeah.
The way they said it, it sounded more. The way he was talking about it was like before you purchase the ship.
Yeah, well, I definitely
maybe
think
that's not what he meant. Maybe he just meant a ship manager on the actual website.
Wouldn't that be known by now then? If that was really a ship manager, a loadout manager.
Well, I think they were talking about doing both. So those are kind of like two different things. So one was that they wanted to do a loadout manager as well, like later on down the line on the website, and then have it being rolled out first as like a before you buy, because it sounded like the way that they are implementing it, it's going to be a lot easier to have it preset basically. So when you buy your ship skin before you own the ship, it's now going to give you that color.
That ship skin. Yeah, that's how they kind of talked about it, rather than it being a ship manager. And I'm sure it's trying hard to remember how they said it, but yeah, they did talk about it more as if you were purchasing the ship rather than the ship manager.
Yeah.
Which just
I'm not feeling all that well about it. It's a bit fishy, but we don't know what the final decision or what it will be. But if you're gonna pay for real money for real items in game, like weapons and that sort of stuff.
But then they did that with the Voyager store. So is it different to that?
Yeah, it's kind of how I viewed it.
So it's like I kind of feel like it's wrong. I don't know why. I feel like it's wrong because I feel like you're paying for the upgraded. So like basically they intend to sell the civilian ship, for example. Let's just say one of the civilian ships. And then you say, well, now I want a military engine in it and I want military power grant, and you upgrade it to whatever you want. And then you buy the ship on the internet, online, outside on the website. So you're kind of getting everything you want without having to work for it. So it kind of feels wrong, but then in the same breath, you can. What are we doing now? Like, if you want to mine a ship, you want a mining ship, fine. But if you want a big fucking mining ship, you can go and buy the Orion, and you've got a much better mining ship.
Yeah, but that's temporary. So, that's for us as backers.
Well, is it going to be temporary for the other ones? Maybe.
The thing is it makes more sense. They're very good positives from my perspective. Okay, so the one thing I don't like doing, is I don't want to do, but sometimes you might think about doing it, is like I don't want to have to buy, for example, like 300 eyes because they've got 6 Omnis on them, because I don't necessarily want that ship. I just want the weapons. You know what I mean? Because they come with LTI, and I can just keep claiming them, and I never need to worry about them. Now, if they do the tiering system on the weapons that they're effectively talking about doing, so tier 1 Omnis, tier 2 Omnis, tier 3 Omnis of the same size category, and obviously by the time you want to have the size 4 Omnis, sorry, not the size 4 Omnis, you want to have the tier 4 size 3 Omnis, for example, which are going to give you that much more power. They maybe cost 100,000 AUEC each. That then gives you a different type of gameplay, and it makes all of this pretty much pointless in terms of like buying ships for weapons and all that, because the reality is you're always going to want to get the power.
So they could restrict the weapons that are sold, so they don't sell the most valuable
Yeah,
ones.
with real money. So you can never buy. All you'll ever buy is you'll be able to buy the tier 1 of whatever hardpoint weapon there is. So it doesn't really matter. So what they're doing then effectively is making it cleaner. So you can kind of at least select. I mean, the positives is still you can select the kind of loadouts that you want, but you still need to know what you want. So you have to be fairly informed. But I like that because I've said this on Captain's Table. Is I get frustrated when I have to buy, for example, like this arrow, and it comes with gimbals. I fly fixed. I do not fly gimbaled. I do not need gimbal parts. I fucking hate gimbal parts on all my single-seater single-seater vehicles. I don't need any more gimbal mounts. I've got enough. So for me, I just want to put the maximum firepower weapons on there as I possibly can. So I like the idea that I can choose from a stock list of what they give me, and they say, here you go, here's your stock list, and you can choose either these size 3 hardpoint weapons or these size 3 gimbal turrets and whatever. I can choose myself. I like the idea of choice. I've always been an advocate for it. So
And when you respawn it, you don't have to re-equip them every time.
I don't have to re-equip it.
Exactly. It drives me crazy when my ship dies. Now, to the other point which you guys were talking about, which is the fact that obviously now what I just spoke about was that moving this kind of game mechanic onto the web page makes it interesting simply because of the utility use of iPhones, mobile platform, and iPads. So in theory, you can, like I said before, you could be at work and you could potentially do your ship loadouts through the web page rather than through the game. So you can't load the game up in your phone. I don't, because it's not going to be
Stretch goals.
Yeah,
maybe, maybe. But ways you can load the web page up, and so you can then load up the ship managing app, which I think is a good idea actually. Thinking about it, and again, I don't think that would be a bad thing.
Well,
see, a good thing.
On that respect, it kind of depends. So if your ship's in a hangar and you put it somewhere where that equipment is, I mean, I don't know how they're going to do with equipment because they've already said that if you've got items yourself, it's going to be your item in the locker in Lawville is going to be in Lawville, your item in Port Olisar. So are they going to do the same for your spares and repairs for your ship? So that's that one thing. And secondly, if they do it where it's in the hangar and your stuff's there, that's okay. I think that's fine. But if they start allowing you to just change any of your ships, again, what you're doing is you're taking all the gameplay out of the game.
Yeah.
You're just taking everything out. It's
your
like, well,
goals.
let's just do everything on the internet. Because it's a bit easier. Let's just sit there. Let's get all my stuff set up on the internet. I log in and my ship's all done. I don't have to fly to a certain place to go and get my guns changed. I don't have to do any repair work. It's all just going to be done. And, it's like you're taking all the gameplay loops out.
Though, is this like something that they're gonna be making basically just for alpha? I mean, when the game goes live and you're not really gonna be buying ships through the website anymore.
The buying part, maybe, but I think the ship management and stuff is probably there to stay.
Oh yeah, so, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I could say I think I agree with Tuteman. I don't like the idea of them making it so it's just like if there was a cutoff point, like and like all the people who bought ships previously. Sorry guys, tough shit. You can't enjoy this.
Sorry folks, but that's probably going to be the way it's going to be. Because like I had the word with Asnog about this before. It's like, well, how about now though? Like I've got a starter pack with the Aurora, which I backed in 2014, and it's got 3 months insurance. And yet someone that's just turned up out of the blue can go and buy a starter pack now with LTI and be much better off than I am. Okay, I know there's split packages, but apart from that,
I don't. Was there someone saying that they're retroactively potentially going to give people like on certain packs like LTI or something? I wasn't sure.
I don't think I've heard it, but I did today as a suggestion. What they should have done instead of upping the anniversary one for all the new ships, they should get everybody that's had a ship and give them every year that goes past, give them an extra year's worth of insurance.
Agree.
Right,
and so
I agree.
Everyone that's got a package from 100%. Well back from when they were, every year, give it to everybody that's had a ship at that point. Because
and that can still happen.
Because we backed the game when it was nothing. Yeah. So how the hell are you?
I agree with that.
Giving these new people the stuff and not the old. Like literally, my package is.
It's like a banking system.
Hey, but you got a shirt.
it's like the bank.
I didn't get a shirt.
You're not the new customer, or Sky. You're no longer the new customer. You don't get the new fancy new.
Exactly, or the energy company.
Skybox anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. You're old. We've already got you. Your deal. You had your deal 3 years ago.
Yeah, it is. But it is getting a bit like that. It is getting a bit like that. That you are a customer, so therefore it doesn't really matter. We're trying to appeal to the new people. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be a bit of that, but I do actually think you've got I think that would be for everyone's starter pack is if you bought one back in the day and it doesn't have an LTI on it, it wouldn't make, in my sense, I think that would be a fantastic gesture from CIG to say either one, turn everyone's starter packs from previously into LTI, or two, do that, make it so that they get the extra time that these extra anniversary packs have been getting. I think that's a really good idea, honestly, a really good idea. And it wouldn't hurt CIG in any way. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. It's going to be fascinating to see though when the customization comes in and how they make it work. I would like both, obviously, integration of customization in game. I would like to go into like, for example, I feel like the shops, I don't know about you guys, but I would like to go into the shop and have more tactile interaction with my ship and the customization of my ship in some form.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel, I still don't have that relationship.
You're certainly not going to get that if you do that on the internet.
No, you will. It can be on the internet as well. It can be probably more in detail on the internet if they wanted to, but I would like them to be the same.
But or maybe the components will just show up like at your doorstep or whatever in your post office.
Amazon delivery, a droid comes along.
Hey, new fetal thruster. Here you go.
That would be kind of fun though, right? Imagine like your hangar and you had like your you got your drone bot or whatever, Giles, your drone bot that talks to you and says, "Oh, your thing has arrived," and then you can watch him take the boxes and then trying to assemble your ship and watch this ship kind of like change shape and reassemble or whatever. That would be kind of cool in your hangar. I'd love all that stuff in the hangar, but I do think they need to have an app on the web page so that people can use their phones and their tablets and their external resources. It also could be to save game resources maybe as well. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes maybe that might help the game a bit more, moving it onto Turbulent like they've done with the VoIP and the FOIP and stuff. I don't know. I don't know about games.
I'm still waiting for that whole mobile app thing. It should be out by now. 10 times.
10 times.
Well, it's not a priority, right? But
no, but yeah.
But it would. I know you guys were a little bit upset about it though, so that's why it's interesting to talk to you.
Well, no, I like I said, I like to do. I do every aspect of it. So I try and see it from people that are pissed off with it, people that I'm not sure. I mean, I think it will depend a little bit on how they implement it. I feel like it's wrong because I feel like it's like basically whenever I've played any game. Now I know we're kind of circumventing that anyway because we're buying any ship practically that we want anyway at the moment. Regardless of the loadout, we can go and get a level 5 ship or however you want to explain it, like an expensive ship. Whereas obviously every game we've played in the past, you start off with a beginner ship. That's your journey. You either earn cargo to make money, you go fighting to make money, you kill pirates, you bounty hunt. That's what you do, and then you upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. Whereas if you can just tomorrow go, right, well, here's all the stuff, pick what the fuck you want, and especially if there's like specific fighters that are the right one, then you're going to get everybody buying that specific loadout and on.
Yeah,
it just feels.
I hope they keep it cosmetic, just skins and stuff. No extra weapons or bigger weapons, that kind of crap. Just earn that in game.
Yeah, I definitely lean towards that. Also, I mean, cosmetics I'm fine with. Even weapons, if it's a lower quality weapon. If it's
tier 1 weapons.
Tier 1. So if it's
I get swapping like the gimbal to non-gimbal maybe just because that's a preference for flying. Yeah.
If I want to be a bounty hunter and I want all distortion weapons, I would like to be able to swap out some of my ballistic weapons for those or something like that,
But it's yeah, I don't know. It's difficult because we're kind of used to buying what we want as well. So we're losing that experience anyway. So that's the problem. Because we're waiting this long, we're spending more and more money and getting the shit that we want. Whereas
but I don't want to be
normally
forced to buy what I want either. Like why wouldn't you just upgrade to the best weapon? I mean,
well, that's it. Once you put it in front of someone, it tempts you though.
I don't want that.
In other games, we would never have had that. That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't normally have that. You have to work your way up. Whereas if it's in front of you, look at Madness. I'm not spending any more money. Or the arrow though. And then buys it, and it'll be just the same. It'll be like, but that you could just get that better weapon.
Oh yeah.
Well, come on, and we might as well just start with that better weapon. Well, it's only an extra tenner. Oh fuck it, let's start with it. And it's like a slippery slope to just basically.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Some people could literally start on the ship that they want, and then that's the only ship they need to fly through the whole game, because it'll be, that's the cargo size I want, that's the running I'm going to do, and that's the engines it's going to need. There you go, job done. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
More
cheapens it a
positive,
bit.
No
more positive
gameplay.
things was that from my perspective as well on this one was that they were talking about customization, which is, again, like I said, one of the big things I really want, and I think
Yeah.
everybody here wants, is that for like
Yeah.
it's just so funny because we literally talked about it last Monday. I believe
Yeah.
that's one of the things I was talking about. I was like, I swear to God, they must, like, I don't know, it's weird, but because they were saying how much I really want to have that experience of getting onto everybody's, like, I don't know, whatever, Cutlass or Freelancer, and just feel like I'm on a different ship every time because you've made it your own. You know, you've added your paint,
Yeah.
you've added your decals, you've added your, you know, whatever it is that makes that ship so special to you, and one of the reasons why
Yeah.
you love it, to fly it so much. You know, that's the experience that I want from Star Citizen as much as any other experience. Is that just that, like, oh my God, dude, that's amazing. Where did you get that from? Oh, you know, I got it from a Banu merchant, like, you know, 3 systems out, whatever, and he got it from so and so. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, dude, where can I get it? Oh, you can't get it. It's you know, you have to go complete this and that and do this. And be like, oh, okay, cool, I'll write that. You know, that's what I want from the game. I definitely don't want the he got it from the web page www. whatever.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
$4.
Yeah.
It cost them
Banu.org.
$4. I don't want that. That's 100%. That would be really sucky. I definitely want them to make sure that there's as much customization in game that you can get on the web
Well,
page.
yeah, it's like it's like every time I'm in the 600i, I can't help but look at the walls and think like, man, all right, it'd be pretty cool to throw up like a poster up there or a painting there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spider-Man comic.
Yeah, you
right
know, one of
there.
those right there.
Yeah. Custom one. No. Or like, yeah, I mean, I hope they do things like that. I'd love them to do the render to texturing stuff as well. So you could like, you could do your own pictures, you know, and you could
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
scan them up and put them up on board your ship. So
The
you
whole
could have,
exterior.
you know, how many people would have pictures of their families? Like, if they could have their families on board their ship, you know, if you could have a picture of your family and you'd have a little picture of it or next to your cockpit or whatever, you know, and you'd be like flying in space. Loads of people would do that shit.
Okay,
Sure.
yeah, I could see that.
Be quite cool. So, and they've got the tech. So yeah,
Your in-game families.
Very excited. Yeah, all your in-game families, all the pictures. Like, I see, look at all the pictures I see of people who take, like, someone, there's one in our Mrs. just disappeared, but we've got one on the thing which I added about gameplay, and there's where there's so many pictures of orcs that they all get together before they do a mission or after they've completed a mission, and they all stand on top of whatever they've killed, or they stand on the platform and they all take a picture of themselves, you know.
Mhm.
Like, it's kind of like that type of thing. Your org, like, you know, you have your picture of your org, or you have your office and you have your picture of your org and all your mates from your org and your office space, and
The school of 1976.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my
exactly.
diplomas and
yeah,
my
exactly.
graduating year of Squadron 42.
exactly. It's that kind of, that's that, like, the way that I was promised Star Citizen and the way that I've kind of always envisioned it is that's like kind of the goals, you know, is to create this living, breathing universe of just like, where you can't tell if it's you know, you just want to be in the world, the universe, because it's just so much
Mhm.
better than anything, you know, almost better than real life in a way, because you're living that sci-fi dream we all dreamed of, because we're all, I think the average age of this game is between 18 and 50, I think it is the average.
No, even
I mean, I'm gonna learn to play
average,
piano
yeah.
one day.
no,
In-game.
no, actually, average. Let's have a look.
Like something
Probably
with two
somewhere in
digits.
40s.
Where did we have it? Where was it?
Oh, it went black here. Yep. Kaboom stream.
Oh,
yeah.
the average is between 25 and 34 years old. It's the largest demographic. So between 25 and 34 years old is the average, but it starts off, the second one after that is between 18 and 24 years old is the
Mhm.
next one. So if you think about it, from 18 to 44 years old makes up the majority of people that play this game, which I find interesting. Up to, and it goes, you know, and it goes up to 50. Yeah, I've got it as a graph picture. I've got it. And so if you think about the generation of people that what they watched, what they were influenced on, what kind of things they consume, and like from science fiction and everything else,
it doesn't surprise me that's what people want and were sold from Chris Roberts.
Yeah, but those little kids will come. Don't you worry.
Sorry, we can just have like a battle royale world
Yeah,
somewhere on the other end of the galaxy.
those
It'll be
12-year-old griefers will come to our game. Absolutely.
Of course.
Gonna make your life a hell.
Just
Yeah.
don't worry though.
Fine.
If you press play,
If you press pause play, no, I went to check whether my missus was downloading and she's not. So it was for some reason my connection just goes. So I reset the plug, which is why everyone saw it frozen. But that joke I just made, the rest of the cast really loved it. But sorry, you didn't get to hear it.
he promised that he was going to get rid of his Crocs. That's what he said he was going to do.
Never. No one heard it. You got no witnesses. So.
So yeah, customization. We'll see. I guess there's more questions. They did open a can of worms in that one. I think a lot of people.
Oh,
have
yes.
more questions.
Dude, I mean, between that and like a gun custom PS weapon things,
Yeah, they
like
have
my
to
two-
clarify.
come on.
I think
I wanna hear
it's always the problem, isn't it? They say something in a conversation, especially on these when they have like a round table conversation type thing, and they say it and they think they're being clear, and then everybody reads into it. And it's like, oh my god, what did they mean by that? And it's like, oh yeah, shit, we really shouldn't have mentioned that.
Worst
without
case scenario, it's
Yeah.
happening.
It's
Why
'cause they can
didn't
only
we-
tell
Bits of truth. They can't tell us the whole thing. I think that's the problem. And so it's
'Cause
like
they don't know
better to say
themselves.
nothing. Yeah, exactly. So it's like you probably should have never said anything. But we always pushing them for information. Even Disco was like, I'm gonna get you next time and I'm gonna get more information from you. You know, they're like, oh my god.
They're going to make you whip up the fucking
Yeah,
fan base
yeah.
once again. Let's piss them off.
Oh god.
It's like what? But for those of us who've been around the block a bit more, we don't mind. It's actually just leads to really great conversations.
Yeah, I think that's how you have to take it. It's like, and when especially when you hear us say it and we have these discussions, like generally, I mean, you can probably tell if we're really salty, but overall, it's something for us to talk about. You know, so if they don't give us, it gives us a chance to speculate. I mean, we love to speculate. That's what we do. So it's like speculation with a little bit of reality sprinkled in, and then salt to taste on top. So you know, it's all a bit of harmless fun. But it's if we don't have this to discuss, we just sit here and go. So this week there were some ships. They put them on display. It was nice. There was one called the Anvil Arrow. It flies already. Anyway, cheers, guys. And that's it. So, yeah, we need to have these things to talk about. Having that said, that actually, going back onto the Anvil Arrow slightly, another straight to flyable ship, which was
Yeah.
surprise.
Dude.
Yeah,
Yes.
wasn't expecting that.
I wish they waited way longer for it.
Do you know what's interesting about the whole flight thing is like I remember on Spectrum, the most poisonous, most dangerous place to ever have any sort of conversation. I remember having a conversation about this. One of my things, my threads, I had a conversation about this, and I was talking about how my preference would be is to have ships. You know, why does CIG always do these enormous concept ships? And then, you know, it's like it takes so bloody long, and then you know, the ship never comes out, and people spend all this money, and then they're left disheartened, and blah 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 blah. Why doesn't CIG sell the ships, the concept ships, whatever, when they're much closer to release? So rather than doing like direct to release, they do them, you know, like the Banu, not the next patch, but 3 patches from now, the ship will be released, type of thing. And they didn't even bother doing that. They just said, "Fuck it, we'll just go straight to
We'll
release."
do it live.
I was like, what? You go from not even having half of your older ships even finished to suddenly, oh yeah, we've got all these ships.
You've heard it here, guys. 2 days time, Banu Merchantman, flyable.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard they have like 20 finished ships that they're just, you know, planning to string along for the next couple years.
Yeah, you're probably right. Legit. No, seriously, I think they've got a load of Squadron 42 stuff. Obviously, Squadron 42, I imagine most of the assets are probably close to being done now, before they're probably doing other things. So there's going to be, all of those ships are going to drop in at some point into the persistent universe. So
I think indeed it will speed up more. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely though. especially when we start getting like more kind of, I don't know, not generic ships, but things like the Hammerhead, for example, where it's like it's got its special things, but overall it's, you know, it's a couple corridors and some turrets at the end.
Exactly.
It's
I think it'd be interesting to know whether they sold more due to the fact that it's flyable rather than a concept, or whether if we would have sold more of a concept, because sometimes it's that if you like madness, if you see it and it's like I can get in it and buy it, it's like fuck it, I'm having that. Whereas a concept makes you go, maybe.
I wouldn't have bought an arrow on concept. 100% would never have bought.
yeah,
the arrow.
actually, yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people like that. I think they'll see that and think, oh, actually, maybe.
I saw it. I knew I could fly it. I didn't even need to rent it. I mean, to be fair, if it wasn't kind of up my alley in terms of ships that I was kind of like interested, like a combat ship, then maybe I would have then rented it. Like I love the renting aspect as well, so I'd be able to rent it for a day, 24 hours to fly it and see if I liked it.
Expo aside, I really hope they stick with doing something like that. So when there's a new ship, maybe even have that place where you can go rent it and you get
That would be awesome.
24 hours, 48 hours, whatever, to just try the thing and then go, do you know what? Yeah, I want that. That would be so cool.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a little bit of a bummer though, because some of these straight to flyable ships, I feel like get a little bit overshadowed by the concept ships that come out right after, like the Valkyrie and then the Kraken, or the Arrow, and what's about to come out.
Yes.
Yeah. The people still love those people still love the mystery and I think it's the gamble. I think they love the gamble. It's like it's a gambling addiction, isn't it?
Take my money. I don't know what I'm getting, but take it.
Just take it. Just take it. It looks so cool. The picture looks amazing, and I love the idea of it, you know. And then they have immediately the buyers regret the day after when they suddenly
when it's melted. You mean?
Oh, and then someone says, when it's melted, or when someone says, "Why did you get that?" Like seriously,
it can't even carry cargo. Like
I never melt.
Yeah, exactly.
So many. I think that I need to put the worst concept ships or the most sold concept ships after being bought. Well, I wonder what.
How long the record
was high?
Most melted.
Yeah, what's the record?
Straight after.
Right. What is the most melted spaceship?
The Avatar Chris asked this ages ago, so we'll breach upon this.
Yes.
So he's got the Idris P. Does he need to pay £300 to get the weapon? I think it's not a weapon. It is a weapon, but it's upgrade kit.
Yes.
Which I think is the weapon and two other things.
Changes the turrets. It's like 4 things, I think. Changes like 4 of the turrets and a missile mount or something. Missile turret.
It gives you rather than having manned turrets, you get automatic like kind of turrets, like a kind of Super Hornet type of thing, and then you get the beam weapon, which isn't as good as the railgun, but it's obviously a better weapon. It's a weapon.
It's not a hole.
And what's interesting is just beware, there's a weird thing about the insurance on these things, and once it's fully equipped, I believe, and you've pressed the execute button, the Idris P stays as a P, but it has the K upgrade kit, and then it will have the insurance of the original Idris or BLTI supposedly. So don't worry, but it's a weird thing. It's like it's an insurance number on it, which makes people kind of go, "What the fuck is going on?" But it's
I think the only thing to note,
not worry about it.
As well, I believe that you have to pay cash as well. You can't use store credit to upgrade it.
Yeah.
I believe.
Now, I wouldn't be too worried if you're an M owner. Your M is still the best.
But I thought it was an interesting choice to make, like the Idris K, almost like another fighter screener, almost as something to compete with the Hammerhead. Maybe not compete, but have something to.
I don't know. They
other
sell
options.
it as that the like the Kraken killer or something.
Oh yeah, I don't know. The way I read it was, it seemed like it was more made for taking out fighters and stuff, and like the beam weapon would be better against those. Or I don't know.
Oh, do you need to buy it today? Wasn't it limited run of those kits?
I'm not.
I didn't pay a lot of
attention.
I didn't pay a lot of attention because I haven't got an Idris. But they did say something about they're going to be a limited run because it was meant to be sold in waves or something. Or am I completely off the mark? I'm sure something was being sold in waves, and I was like, that sounds a bit shitty when you spent all that money in the game in the first place. Then they're limiting it. Well, that's what it means. Idris upgrade. Oh, the Idris itself rather than the Idris upgrade.
It's all
I don't know.
like for me, it's in a league of like gameplay that I'm zero interest in. It's like one of those kind of like I'm sure someone somewhere that I know has an Idris M, and that's all I need to know. Because it's like I'm not. I mean, how much fighting will you guys do on an Idris? Is that the type of thing that you're interested in?
Me personally, no.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
the
want one,
waves.
but,
The
I
waves
mean-
were credit. Okay.
Ders is like, yes, I am doing this. This is my number one goal in
He
life.
lives in Switzerland. He can get them all for nothing. It's like
Hey, have you seen the Swiss Army stuff? The Swiss Army stuff is insane. They've got this
Dude,
little
they're
knife,
neutral.
this little knife about this big. That can do all of the different things required in an army situation. Cut down trees. It can cut my scissors. It can even like.
Cheese fondue.
Yeah,
Incredible.
yes.
Oh,
So yeah, I think
It's-
Chris,
it
if
brushed my
if
hair.
you buying it with real money, then I think you've got time. But I've not heard anything about how long it's on for sale for, whether it's just the sale period of the Expo.
The waves were the credit versions apparently.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Although I
I
still
guess,
think that's pretty
In
shitty.
CIG.
I think
logic.
like, you know, you've
Yeah.
all spent a certain amount of money in the game, but you know what? We're going to limit it to how many of you are going to be privileged to have this upgrade for store credit. It's like, come on. Seriously. I mean, we say this a lot on this fucking podcast, unfortunately. We love the game and there's a lot we praise, but they really do some stupid fucking decisions. Stupid ass decisions, in my opinion. It's like someone's chucked all that money at you. It's like, no, 5 of you can do it with store credit. The rest of you fucking got to pay us more money. Well, why them 5? Not them 5. It just makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, I was looking at I was trying to follow the Idris just to see how quickly they sold out today, and
Instantly,
my phone
wasn't it, I
literally
think?
couldn't even load fast enough.
Yeah. It's just, insane.
It's just like I said this. I'm like, you know, the reality of this whole kind of like these ships are going to be rare in game when the game goes live is going to be ridiculous because I guarantee it, you're going to like everyone's going to start off in a space station or whatever. And you're going to fly out and there's going to be like 12
50
Idrises
Idrises.
just sat there, just sat there.
Landing pad full. Well, what the fuck's on the landing pad? You look and it's just Idris City. Fucking Everest. Like,
Just,
fuck's sake.
and there's one person just spawning them, going, "Ha, these are all mine."
I got 16 of them. Yeah.
You're like,
Couple of
everyone's
wows filling up every station. Just
Yeah.
like, look what I got, look what I got.
Wow.
It's alright, and it goes, alright, they're all LTI. You can blow the fuck them up so as much as you want.
Yeah, exactly. Just do another one. Just spawn another one. I'm like,
Oh my god. Yeah.
Worth it.
Literally.
yeah, it's just like some rich kid. I am considerably richer than you, written on the side of every single one of them.
Custom paint job, we probably paid for it, you know.
Custom, yeah.
Idris City.
So much more wealthy than you. And it just like could have another one like pleb written on the side of it or something. I don't mind. Poor, broke.
That'll be the one with the without the battlefield upgrade kit
Yeah.
I
or whatever.
Do hope they still kind of find a way, CIG, to try and find the balance between like being to be able to have the smaller vehicle to blow up some of the bigger ones. You know what I mean? Like I want that you talk about the Omni tool, like the idea of like being able to board. Like earlier, that just got me excited because I was like, okay, maybe I can take down the shields from my fighter, but maybe you can still get on board. And then once you're on board the Idris, then things get really interesting because then once you're inside, you know, you might be able to
You get lost.
Demolish things, yeah.
You
Cut
just
some
get
cables.
lost. 2 weeks later, I'm trying to find my way to the cockpit. I'm trying to take over the ship, but I can't find my way. Somewhere.
Playing the confused terrorist.
But I know that I think it was the ship I was on the Hammerhead before, and you can get to the engineering, you can power it down. So I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool. I can't wait to do that type of mayhem in some of the other ships. That's going to be great. But
Well, I mean, you can use the small ships to like jam up the thrusters if you just ram them into.
oh god,
Just enough of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so the Idris K. Anyway, I mean, yeah, if that's
Beam
your-
weapons.
beam weapons, cool.
beat me up, Scotty. Yeah.
Yeah, not my.
They're going to just teleport
just-
people. That's what it means by beam weapon. Mine.
I wonder if-
Back to spawn.
smaller beam weapons. I'm curious to see some more beam weapons if they'll do smaller ones.
So
rather than just
lightsabers
the large one.
confirmed, basically.
Yeah. Well, we have
Well,
them.
there-
They have the knife already has a little bit of a
Yeah, the multi-tool.
Mm-hmm.
They did talk about a couple
Clue.
monthly studio reports ago about like one of the ship weapons. It sounded like was a beam weapon, and so there was like a throwaway line that they were talking about it, that they were finishing up the effects on, you know, the Hurston Dominance beam weapon or something. But
Didn't they? Yeah,
I mean, I don't see it in 3.3.
Yeah. I thought I saw a video. I remember them shooting one just to show you the sound effects, but it might be in my head. So yeah, one of the things I was going to talk about is like, because we have a lot of the discussions in Discord quite a lot, like when these sales and everything come up, and there's always like, oh, this is the ship I love, and then there's always a but. It could have this, or it could have that. Have any of you got a ship that you just 100% love and say, this is my ship and I don't need to change any of it?
Because I still don't know what I will do. I love it all. I love mining. I love dogfighting. I like trading. I like cargo hauling. I like whatever there is. And you've got all these different ships. But there's not one single ship that I'm like, okay, that's got everything I have and really love. It's just a variety.
I don't think you should have a ship that does everything, but I meant more so if you wanted to go mining, is the mining ship exactly how you want it? Or is it like, oh, I think it should have slightly extra cargo, or maybe 2 mining lasers rather than just what? Like every time I talk about a ship, I always feel like that's almost what I want. Like the Freelance is almost what I want, or the Phoenix is almost what I want, but it's a little bit too clean, or there's always something that kind of breaks it from being exactly what I want.
Like, give me a Star Runner, except, with more like a Cutlass loadout and maybe like storage space. All right, now we're talking.
Okay, so my answer is probably the no. No one's got one. They're just like, yeah, I'm fucking happy with this. It's perfect. It's just I don't know. I don't know if you'll ever get that though.
What was the question? Sorry, Liz, I'm just.
I hope not.
I'm still grasping a ship that you're
100% happy with, and saying, right, say the game come out tomorrow. This is my ship. I don't want to change anything on it. I just think it's the right shape. The HUD's the right thing. The wings are the right size. It looks right. It flies right. Is there a ship where, like, you love the Gladius, but then you kept moaning about the cockpit because they kept changing it. So, is there a ship that you want as your style that's perfect?
Arrow. I haven't flown the Arrow enough to be able to say if it's perfect yet in combat. I'll know more. It was the Gladius, but then they did mess up the cockpit a little bit. The HUD isn't. It's better. It's definitely improved. It's definitely improved. I do love the way that ship flies. God, it's beautiful. The Cutlass is Cutlass is it like it's hard to not like. You could argue, but it's about looks only, really. The Cutlass, whether you like the if you find it an attractive ship. But in terms of its practicality, it does everything that anyone would want it to do, and it does it well. There's no other ship that I can say that does everything well. Like people say, the Avenger is good, but the Avenger flies like a turd at the moment. It's just awful. It doesn't fly well at all, and it's not got great firepower. And it a couple of hits and it goes boop. Whereas the Cutlass is, for the price, I think easily the best value for money at the moment for what it does. The 600i at the moment is a pretty good ship based on those hammerhead shields.
But then there's always people that are saying it shouldn't have this in it, or it should have the pool table.
40 SCU.
There's always something it's something that, I don't know. Always seems to be. I think you're right. I think Cutlass is probably the closest to what I've heard. Most people seem to be happy with it. Like, I love my Cutlass. There's nothing I want to change. But then there are a few in the camp of like I think you said it. Can't they put the gun turrets on the side of there so that you got the same as the Valkyrie? So that's.
I mean, for me, this might bum some people out, but honestly, I think the Saber Raven is pretty killer for what it delivers, what it promises. You don't want it to be an amazing dogfighter because then it would just wreck everything. So, and especially because I dug up some old info, and I guess there's data running with it too, and it having its own, areas for that, and so
Yeah, no. Back to this. I'd say, like I said, the 600 at the moment is my surprise ship. The only reason I wouldn't, it's just the price is quite an expensive ship. But in terms of, if you actually look at it in terms of what it does, its firepower is insane. If you put big guns on that thing, it hits so hard. And if you put actually a 600, if you had two 600s next to a hammerhead, and then you have a couple fighters next to it, that is a damn powerful actual little mini fleet, because the 600 is fairly maneuverable for its size. And like I said, the firepower on that thing, if you put it up, is amazing. And you've got hammerhead style shields on that thing, you know. And you can also have a bar and a jacuzzi. I think, has it got a jacuzzi, or you can just chill out on the
Pool
bed,
table.
you know? Whilst pool table, you can chill out on the bed and at the bottom and watch whilst your pilot just decimates everything above. And it's got turrets.
Playing the piano. Is that the one that's piano, or the
you
Phoenix
know,
got the piano?
Phoenix has a piano. One day we'll get ours.
And whether you like the looks of it or not, I think it's a pretty looking ship as well. So it's a really pretty ship. It does more than anyone ever expected it to because of the shields now.
Yeah, the shields are amazing. I mean, I've been flying I have a, and I was planning on melting it when the hammerhead came.
Yeah.
And I can't get rid of it because the shields are so good. I mean, I've managed to ferry people off like Lorville, coming under fire from multiple ships, and escape atmosphere and zip out. It's just, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but it takes some effort.
With a stick.
Yeah.
I like my my not a fighter, but my prospector. It gives me a really cozy feeling. The big cockpit, the canopy, really good visibility.
Yeah.
Having a cup of coffee, being alone out there in the verse, and just like in a commercial.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think out of it, actually, that as its role as a miner and a mining ship, it does exactly what it needs. It's got a great canopy, so you can see out of it. It's a good size. It can load up and exchange cargo. So yeah, actually, I'd say that was probably, if I was a miner, that I would be very happy with that ship, actually.
The only thing that it lacks right now is to.
No.
Yes, there we go.
I said if you're 100% with it. I know.
It's not 100%.
Oh.
No, I would like to eject some waste or just.
Yeah, but it's a small
not really
mining
refined,
ship,
but yeah, but.
I don't.
And it
think
needs like 3 more lasers.
I don't think it should eject crap because I think it's so basic. It's just hoovering the shit up. It doesn't get
and
like, that's to do with how you hoover it. It's like there's no process in that. It's literally just going straight into the bag.
That is true. Yeah,
I think it would be wrong for that. If you had maybe a next tier ship up that could do that, like not refine it, but filter it out as a next tier up, I agree with. But I think as a starting level one, I think I think it nails it. The next one up, sure, I'll concept it. Hang on. I'll just concept it, and you can. I'll charge about $300. It'd be fine. It's just.
Well, I want to customize it then.
Please. I'll do a little bubble on the front.
I'll
give you an extra mining laser as well.
Insane.
This bit at the back here. There you go. Right, that's very early concept. It's not going to work because of my logo.
Oh man, it's got cloaking?
Yeah, it's got cloaking as well. There you go. All right, so it's very early concept. You can have that for a few $100.
Thanks.
That's how it works, isn't it?
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Yep.
Sorry, I literally touched something and it went funny.
I was going to say, for me, I don't know about anybody else. If you were to choose, I'm going to be confident in saying, I think the worst manufacturer, not worst, but it's just my opinion, the manufacturer that I was going to be least impressed with
by the end of this one will be RSI.
That's a feels bad, man.
I agree, and it's almost like it's their namesake, and it's like you've plummeted down with this. It's like you've got.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen!
But how disappointing it was even at the Expo. It's like you've got auroras and constellations, and that's it. Yeah. It's like, come on, it looked so poor. I walked into.
They had an Ursa. They had a rover.
They did, and it almost looked like an Aurora. It's the same block. And actually, I'm actually a fan of the rover, at least that type of vehicle. I haven't actually driven the rover that much to test it, but it just
drives crap.
It was pretty disappointing when you see it as an Expo thing. It really was like, oh my god, this looks poor.
I I was just like, they kind of it was Anvil, and then it was Robert Space Industries, and like we said, like you go to robertspaceindustriescom, and when I first got into it, the Connie did seem. I mean, people still get excited when you see the Connie, but the more you fly a Connie, the more you actually experience the Connie,
Experience the
and the other ships that they
struts.
had, the RSI ships. You realize that. I mean, I know there's Aurora fans out here who will throw sticks and stones at me, but it's not an exciting ship. You know, it's a starter ship. It's just not an exciting ship. It's just like, meh. And maybe it's exciting when you first get it. Okay, I'm not going to spoil that experience, but
It was also exciting when there was nothing else, and when it was one of the oh my god, there's a ship, and it's so I can get it in my hangar and have a look.
Yeah.
Now there's so many other pretty things to look at. It's really not that appealing. That's the problem.
I did really dig though the way they did the Phoenix.
Yes, I actually like the Phoenix, and I like the. I mean, I know people disagree in terms of how it's laid out on the inside, but I like how the middle has changed, because for me that's what my biggest gripe on the Con is that it just feels like you've got a massive ship. It's all engine, and inside there's no ship. You've got
like a hot dog
bit,
yeah,
and you've got like a little table and chairs, and that's it. And it's like, where the fuck is everything? The Phoenix, it from inside just feels like a total different ship. And like, I don't give a shit about whether the VIP person's going to have a crap on that. It's up to them. But the fact that you've got all these windows and the window above and all the glass, so you can look around the bar area. Yeah, to me, I love that. I love the inside of that, and it just doesn't feel like a Connie from the inside.
Yeah, it feels like once you're in that midsection, you're in just a completely different world of sorts.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't feel like a Connie.
And
It's
you
nice.
feel like the others now need to be
Still
reworked
suffers.
so that the insides at least have a better layout. I don't know. It just
Though I mean, RSI does have that Apollo coming up too. So
Apparently the stream has died.
No, it's just the connection went right down again.
Yeah.
The sheep, man, I can't stop the sheep eating the wire. I don't know why. I streamed Dying Light with Mac
Don't
yesterday,
worry,
and it
guys.
was perfectly fine the whole way through. I don't know what it's doing. I can go and do the plug again,
It's
but
probably NDI stuff. It's the thing that we want to work
It's
really
possibly.
well. It's probably
it's possible,
sucking
but
the internet.
it shouldn't be, because when it's working fine. It just I'm getting like tons of drop frames again.
Weird.
So, by the way, guys,
England or
exclamation mark,
England?
exclamation great question mark. If you want to ask us a question as well, just throw that out there.
Yeah, if you feel like it. Well, I think we're not got much time left now. Really, about half an hour or so, or 20
Yeah,
minutes.
let's
depending
just
if we've got anything
open it
else to
up.
talk about.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good time I can share a discovery that I've been messing around with a lot on the stream lately. I've been using the multi-tool a lot, and I haven't seen anyone really talking about it. But so you can use the multi-tool to open up lock ships. Pretty cool, pretty groovy. But I found it tends to only work on ships with doors that aren't connected to the cockpit. So ramps and side doors, like the Cutlass side doors or the Cutlass ramp.
Yeah.
But if you try and do like a fighter, for example, like a Hornet or a Gladius or a Saber, it won't open, because once you open the door, you're breaking it. And so you can't open or close it anymore.
Yeah.
And so I guess if you tried to break open the cockpit, you can't close it. And
Right.
it's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
And so far I've noticed that pretty much it's kind of weird though, because it works and you can steal ships, but you can't really get in unless you're in 0G, because like the Cutlass, if you open up the back door, it'll open up a little bit. And so you can float in through the top and like
it doesn't
fall into the
engage the
ship.
hydraulics.
But yeah, it doesn't engage the hydraulics, so you can't go. But you can open up the side doors of the Cutlass, but you can't really jump in unless you're even.
That's pretty cool though, that it's in there and usable though.
I have
That
to
is
try
pretty
it
cool.
though tomorrow.
Yeah, oh definitely. And like something
Maybe
like
not-
the Hammerhead.
Maybe
can
not
break
multi-tool
the-
people's nuts and do ships instead.
Your mileage will vary. Will vary. But like the Hammerhead, I tried to open that thing up, and hitting the cargo bay, it'll open up, but you can't. Nothing happens. You can't get in at all. And like the side elevators, but you can steal ships. That was one of the points I want to get to.
That's
You can
cool.
steal NPC ships these days, like the Caterpillar.
It's a shame you can't get to those one that you keep seeing fly off from Lawville. It's just like go over to one of those and start nicking some of them.
One day.
Well, that parked Kraken. Go and nick that instead.
Do you think they're going to have a Kraken in the Drake Interplanetary showroom?
No. It won't fit anyway, will it?
About the same size as an Idris, isn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't? Yeah,
is
it's like
it?
the exact same size.
Is
Or
it?
not the exact, but give or
I had
take.
a feeling it was bigger. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I
reckon
had
they-
with the Idris as well.
Oh, feels bad.
Yeah,
maybe
really.
they may well do then, yeah. Because they've done the outside. We saw it in the demo, so there's no reason why they don't just put it in there and you can walk around the outside of it.
That would be pretty sweet, I think. I mean, you could put like a couple. Maybe they should put some Miz boxes on top of it, and then a couple.
Dragonflies.
Maybe like a Buccaneers and like a Cutlass on top.
All painted.
For anyone that
in
doesn't
custom
know
colours.
that joke, Miserable
Painted the assets for the Kraken at the CitizenCon event. So
Yep.
he painted the all the little ships and the little the little forklift truck and the Buccaneer and the Cutlass and everything else for the event.
The dragonflies.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Star Kitten Dragonfly was extremely
Yeah, the Star
controversial.
Ah.
they had
Very
to
nice
ask.
community.
They had to
Wrong
ask
shade of
permission to put it on. They then had, I think, Toast out legal was literally flicking through brochures to make sure that I had painted it exactly how the Star Kitten design was. Otherwise, he wouldn't allow it. I think he was trying to find excuses not to allow it on. And so he was looking to make sure that I painted it exactly as a replica, which I had. So, but it's and apparently in the office, loads of people hate it as well. So it's a contested.
Hey, they shouldn't have put it in the game. Then.
Exactly what I said. You can't say no to having it on when it's your fucking asset. You made it. You shouldn't have
Exactly.
fucking done it. And so, or they should have made it as like the top fucking tier for like the referrals thing, so that no one actually earned it. They put it as like 5 or 10 referrals. So
That would have been
You know, if
legit,
they-
actually.
We need to make sure that we literally get loads of Star Kitten like merchandise, T-shirts made, and we make sure that all the CIG employees have to wear.
send it to
this
them as
stuff.
gifts.
If we know that they hate it, if we just got, there's literally going to be gifts sending out bright pink fluorescent.
I'd love to know who does hate it. I need to get JR to just send me tons of the mini dragonflies and just paint them all. Start do a chain like
One for you,
production.
One for you.
And
One
just
for you.
send them to everybody in there as a fucking Star Kitten Dragonfly for everybody.
Oh yes. Sorry, that's my slightly terrible. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. What else do we have? Anything else on the topic of conversation? Let me just check.
Do you see the comment of Dr. Drones?
Oh,
If that is true, that would be awesome.
That would be funny. But then it'd have to be a lot bigger as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If it is the size of an
Jeez.
Idris.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
the,
Fenrir. That's what you put in people's stockings instead of coal. A little Star Kitten Dragonfly.
Oh God. Talking about the Expo event itself, when the space obviously is no longer in use, between us lot, this is like kind of a question to everybody here. If you could make that space do anything in Star Citizen for yourself, like you could choose it and design it to do any space, when there's not a convention going on, what would you turn the space into?
Multi-tool fencing.
I was actually going to say, like paintball, little arena or something where you could just get everybody in there and start shooting paintball.
Public bathroom, lots of
Quite-
toilets.
Raise a roller disco. Yeah, I like that one. Wow. Okay, nice one. Chet's arcade. Okay, full the arcade machines. Yeah, I don't know actually.
Yeah.
I think you said something about like renting it out. Like orgs could rent it as to show off their orgs, but like until we get custom stuff, it's not gonna.
Like
put
guild.
Let me just put my fleet in here. You know, the org fleets.
You could have like guild booths there or something, though.
Yeah,
Maybe pay like
little org
a certain amount of
stands.
USD.
Org stands, not org
Yeah.
stand. Yeah, no, that's actually quite a good idea. And like permanent, almost like permanent, like so you can go there anytime and see the different orgs that are around.
About
But
like what about like a Twitch area where you could have all the streamers that are currently streaming the game Star Citizen, and you could walk around and see all the
On
different
one
streamers
giant wall.
and snipe
on
them
one wall.
No.
stream snipe.
all in one place. If all your stream sniping needs, you will find them here.
Oh.
I don't know.
No. pretty cool. Yeah, I think we're coming to the end now, aren't we? I think that's it there.
I think that's pretty much most of it. Yeah.
It's
Because we had no
it's a
ATV
pretty-
and all that. There wasn't much to talk
No,
about in that
those-
respect.
Lots of good stuff with the ships to talk about, though. And the event itself is going really well. I don't know about everybody else. They've managed to, iron out the bugs at the beginning, and now everything's really smooth and transition's great. The showrooms look good. I'd like them to have like some candy machines or something, so I could pick up some food and pick up something. Maybe like popcorn. You could have like a popcorn
Coffee machines. I
machine,
mean, come on.
coffee machine. You just,
well, they got that. You can get a drink. I think from the you can carry your iced coffee or whatever it is, or iced tea or something. You can carry. it
Yeah,
actually
your
to the venue with
whiskey
you.
and yeah.
your whiskey and stuff. You can carry it with you and walk around.
It's fun seeing people dress up in casual clothes, civilian clothes as well, because I do find it hard sometimes to tell when they're not moving. It's like
I've been
Are
wearing
you
civilian.
NPC?
I've been wearing civilian clothes the whole time, and the
for the
annoying thing
monocle.
is, the other day I logged in and I don't know why, but he started suffocating, and I'm just walking around going, he didn't die. He just literally walked around everywhere going, I'm trying to look at ships and he's going, die already or something. It's just like, oh my god.
do you know what that does remind me? Actually, I did the
It's the air
I did
quality.
the. Have you had the bit
Yeah.
where you're on the left, you want to get out of the expo, but everybody's trying to get into the expo because everyone's
Oh,
saying,
God,
well, it's
yeah.
ages. Everyone was trying, and I was trying to push. You're trying to push through them to get onto the lift because the doors closed,
And then it's a
and then they
fight.
pushed you back. You can't get in. And I was
But
like,
the
"Where's
thing-
my gun? I want to shoot all these idiots right now."
The thing is, the
I
other
just wanna mow
expos
them
has
all
all
down.
been one floor. So you're all going to the same floor and you're all leaving the same floor. Now this one, there's 3 fucking floors. So it's
Yeah.
like, as soon as you get in the lift, it's like, well, I don't want to go and see the fucking Idris. I've been. So it's now you're pushing people out the way to get to use the lift icon before they do. It's like, this is mine. This is mine.
Non-lethals, man. We need them.
And I do the one because I got so pissed off, but people keep bumping me. So now I stand right in front of the button, but I don't press the button. So they constantly keep inviting me. They keep inviting me to their party or their group, and I keep ignoring it. But they
You
can't go
bastard.
nowhere. They are stuck.
Like
So they
the
can't
big
press the
tower
button.
in World of Warcraft.
So I stand it with my back, and then every now and again I flip them the bird slowly, and then the bird goes back again.
This is why we can't have nice things.
But the problem is as well is that the buttons switch where they are. Like sometimes it's always at the top, sometimes, and it's like when you
Yes.
come out of the easy
I've been saying
habs,
this
it's
for
like,
ages.
oh my god, the amount of times I keep pressing. I'm thinking, oh, I want level 4. No, I don't. I want fucking ground level because my god,
Everybody, none of you guys.
the future,
none of you
man.
guys felt
the
its pain.
future of
No
not
one
knowing what button it's pressing.
It's because you finally catch up. Because I was grumbling. I've been grumbling about this to CIG's Christian for ages about those damn buttons, but nobody else does it because no one else is probably spending their time in Grim Hex as an average player going up and down buying stuff. So they don't spend a lot of time in the elevators. Only now they have to spend a lot of time in the elevators. Do they understand what I've been going on about for ages? And they're like, So welcome to the reality. That's been around for ages. But yeah, they will fix it, I'm sure. At some point.
One day.
If you do get really irritated tomorrow, just go stand right in front of the door, the button in the lift, and just stand there for a few
And then the
minutes.
thing is as well, it's a bit like if you're British, you politely don't press the button because someone's already there and they've probably pressed the button. So you're sitting there waiting. And well, have they pressed the button or haven't they pressed the button?
Everybody thinks
I
that.
don't want to go and push them out the way. I'm going to just stand there and look at them, waiting for them to press the button. You have pressed the button, mate, haven't you? You sure? It's not coming down. Oh no, the lift just takes half an hour to come down. Right? Okay. But yeah, I've spent ages still standing there, and I don't think he's pressed the button. I don't think. What am I doing with my life? Just push in the way and do a madness and just push in and fucking press the button. That's my tip for you all. Don't stand there and wait.
I would like if they did make it so that you could just you could have like a weapons free to shoot people. That whole area already. If you stand outside, it's
Just
a
on like
bloodbath.
Friday or
NPCs.
something.
Yeah, it would be a bloodbath. There would be mass murders in that whole.
Let's do Free
just-
Fire
just-
Fridays. What can go wrong?
Exactly.
I like it.
It would be fantastic to just watch the carnage.
Just over the
and,
tone
watch
of
all the NPCs.
Please remember, today is Free Fire Friday. Have your guns at the ready because you will be shot on sight.
Oh man, that's Battle Royale gameplay right there, without even having to implement the game. You know what I mean?
No.
Star Citizens Battle Royale.
They keep hab camping me, man.
You parachute in.
Wow.
Right,
No, yeah, you don't,
okay.
even
You don't need to parachute in. You don't even need that at all.
We need the parachute.
training. It's the train trip in. That's what in Star Citizen. It's a train ride.
Awesome.
God, give me ideas. Right.
Yeah.
I bet you Americans do the same when you're crossing the road, don't you? Even though there's no traffic, I bet you press the fucking buttons to cross the road.
No.
Oh, let's just light it out. Let's light it out. I'm going to cross, but let's light it out first so all the traffic.
I mean,
lights go.
someone could come by really fast. You never know, man.
Fucking people that do that. Jesus. I'm going to run them over in my car. It's just like...
One quick thing before we go, actually, was the no-fly zone. Have you guys managed to crash into the no-fly zone yet?
I don't want to talk about it.
Nope.
Yes.
600i problems, man. Okay. I don't know if you guys like fly the 600i often, but have you noticed
Do
any
we look
atmosphere?
like we fly the 600i often? I mean,
I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me jump podcast real quick.
These are my shoes. Right? Do I look like I fly a 600i?
Origin Day, you never know.
He crashes like, Dragonfly.
That's easy to crash.
You just turn it on, man.
Sorry, I ruined your story. Go on. So yeah, 600i.
Yeah, no. So I don't know. I've been having. I swear it's not me. Like 2 out of 4 times, totally not me. But I've been like losing power, or some such. But I've impacted the surface and decorated the surface, and also the hangers. I don't know. They fixed the hangers with the triple gravity or something, because the 600i's poor little VTOL thrusters can't really do much. But whenever I enter, I spiral out of control. It's fun. It's good times. Last time I just parked it upside down because it's the closest I could get. One day, man.
So have they changed the no-fly zones there? Because when I was with Bok, was you in the ship at the time when I said let's just go underneath the business arch?
Yeah.
And you can go underneath the business arch. There's like a little bit that's red, and then there's red above, and I didn't realize. I thought I was just going to blow up instantly, but it didn't. You could fly through it, so I flew through it, and then I thought, well, let's see how low we can go. So we went
Wasn't that low?
down, and it literally blew up in about 2 seconds of going into the red. So it went, I was like, okay, that's how low you can get. So you can't.
There's not a lot of grace.
No,
the big ships do struggle to take off, don't they? From what I can tell, and they do struggle with that whole.
So did the Arrow.
No fly zone. No, that's just
the Arrow struggled
with the Arrow.
massively. It was worse than the lift, just going dead up. It just took ages.
There's a reason why whenever I fly in the game,
Miz, I basically always fly the ships, and Miz just
I'm just like, sit there, I will fly the ship. But it's mine. No, I'm flying this ship because we need to get off and get to.
I never fly my ship when it's my ship.
The
Everyone
point of
gets
insurance
in
if you never use it.
I want to reach my destination.
I've done this too many times, Miss.
But no, it's always good fun. But
no, I've seen people struggle.
Get with the 600i. I've seen people struggle with the bigger ships, the Connies, and
I don't know what it is,
get
but
off.
yeah.
Well, I've seen the Hammerhead has been horrendous to try and take off. I've seen just in, I don't know about anyone taking off the Hammerhead from Hurston if it's easy or not, but it's from what I saw the last patch, like when people were trying to take the Hammerhead, it was terrible. Like it was all on the Reclaimer as well, really difficult to take off.
Well, yesterday for the first time I had to overclock a 600i taking off from Hurston because I just kept like halfway up, I would just fall. And yeah, the first time I've been there, I don't know, like 10 times now. But
maybe they need like a barge, a bit like a little ship that can just suck and then take it off for you. You can attach to the front of it and pulls you out of port or something. And because all these big ships that can't take off, it might be quite fun to see. Someone could have a little job being a little barge.
I think
all these ships.
Bristol Boy was saying he took off from I think it was Levski, and he said how it was weird how different it was to get out of the atmosphere there compared to Hurston. So you really feel the difference, which is good. That's what it's supposed to feel. It's just interesting when you haven't done it for a while. It kind of like takes you by surprise. Like, why is this struggling to get? Oh yeah, because it's in atmosphere and it sucks.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Okay. Well, does anyone do you want to tell us where we can what you guys are going to be up to for the rest of the week?
If we can catch you, where we can catch you, like on Twitch and Twitter and all that stuff. So we'll start with our first time guest, DersussTV. Dersus, is that right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Dude, it's fine.
Dersus?
Everybody mispronounces it. Dersus,
Dersus.
or yeah, if you're feeling particularly German, Dersus. But I mean, I don't even pronounce it that way. And there's no umlaut, so get out of here.
So you're wrong.
But,
Firstly, thank you for joining us. This is for your first time on the
Yes.
Asylum podcast. I hope we
well, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was awesome. It was rad. Folks can find me at DersussTV on Twitch. It's a website. 10:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm in Switzerland, so it's like, what is it? 7:30 Central European Time, I think is what you guys call it. CET. Still getting used to that whole thing.
GMT for us.
GMT.
Yeah, GMT. I don't know. I googled it. That's what it told me.
GMT.
but yeah, and then I don't know.
Some time zone somewhere.
Yeah, keep it positive. Test out all the things. I try at least. So this week I want to. Oh, we ended the stream earlier today with a multi-tool death battle in a hammerhead. So we had people in different parts, and
Cool.
I want to do more things to that extent. Like the Reclaimer, it's an FPS level, so let's do some FPS battles. So yeah.
Awesome. I can't wait to see the people getting sucked out into space in their Reclaimers. Because there's a lot of ships. There's a lot of badly designed ships out there that have got long connection corridors into people's habitations and habitats. The Valkyrie, the Reclaimer, just to name two of them. There's a few others as well. If you take out a couple doors, you can suck out everybody.
So good.
Yeah. Just thinking about it. Always thinking about mass murder.
Sometimes in game. Wow. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So thank you so much, and everyone, if you haven't followed, go check out.
Yeah. Exclamation mark guest.
Like rhymes with like bear bus. It would work.
Bear butts. Go and see Bear Butts. Go and give him a follow.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Give them a follow.
Bok, what are you up to the rest of the week? You streaming, my friend?
Yeah, tomorrow I will be back streaming. People can find me at twitch.tv bokbiertje. And on Twitter, same name, but with a 2 on the end. Bokbiertje 2. Definitely going to try out the multi-tool.
Yeah.
After tonight's stories.
I think everyone is going to be doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely have to visit the Expo because I still haven't done it.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I bought a 3D printer and that sucked up all my time. Sorry,
Shame.
folks. Sorry.
Oh look, my connection's fixed. Now we've finished. How nice.
At the end.
Fucking sheep. Yeah, that's cool. So, more 3D printing, I presume. You did say you can do some Star Citizen models. Perhaps?
I want to try to print all the Star Citizen models that are available, but that's quite challenging. You really have to learn how to print, how to get it supported.
Slice and
slices.
dice and
Yeah. But we're getting there.
Get your hotbed the right temperature, lay on your hotbed and twizzle your heated nozzle.
Exactly.
And you
Don't burn your
make sure
finger.
your extruders are extruding properly and
Yep.
no leakages and things like that. Wow. Totally different conversation. Nothing to do with 3D printing.
But yeah,
No, that's cool. So are you gonna? No, you go on. Sorry.
I'll be streaming unless can we get anything else, Puck? Sorry.
no, I'm done.
No. Okay. Cool.
Go
So
ahead.
I will be streaming at some point this week, I think, before I go off to Singapore. So I fly on Singapore for my conference to present all my shoes on Sunday. I think it is to be in for Monday, and then
yeah, we've got there's a shit ton of stuff that I'm waiting to see if shoes ever turn up. So yeah, it's all really kind of nail biting at the moment. So lack of sleep will get worse as the week progresses, and I find out what's actually going to arrive. Like they are making shoes. The factory is making shoes on the 2nd of December with the intention of then assemble. One of the factories going to have 5 hours to assemble 46 pairs of shoes in 5 hours to then hand carry them over to the conference the night before, and then they will probably arrive at about 1 o'clock in the morning. The presentation will be on the 4th, and I will be probably up when I arrive on the 3rd until 4 o'clock in the morning or something, setting up the hall. I'll have to present. I have to do my usual presentation to about 200 to 300 people from the business in sneakers and stuff, sneaker business. So with zero sleep, so that's going to be prayers. Oh, welcome, people. Prayers and well wishes, because I'm going to need it. It's pretty stressful at the moment. So, yeah, it's been a very, very, very.
That sounds like a CIG deadline. That does.
Yeah, well, it's been a borderline miracle in terms of within my industry. We lost 2 factories this season due to
complications. I won't bore you guys with. We
Fires.
lost 2 factories, and then in 8 weeks we had to do what normally takes 5 months. It's been really tough, and we managed to achieve a mind-blowing amount of work, but like always, no one can see that. At the final result is what counts, and so it doesn't matter how much work has gone in. If it still doesn't look good at the end, it doesn't matter. So yeah, it's pretty tough at the moment, but we're definitely going to have some good shoes to show. So yeah, I'm positive about that, but it's been tough. It's definitely been tough. Hence, I think the lack of the illness for 7 days of stress. Because just I've been to Vietnam twice in like a month, I think it is, and now I'm going to Singapore now. In a way, it's been brutal.
Well, on the positive side, each and every time you're away, a new patch drops.
So 3.4 guys coming soon.
So
next
I can't
week
believe it.
3.4.
I just can't believe it. Yeah. So but Star Citizen just keeps getting better. So I'm really, really positive at the moment, and I can't wait for having Christmas off to be able to enjoy it. That's the way I look at it. I just can't wait to fly Star Citizen. So don't fuck up the patch,
next week. 4.2, 3.4 next week.
Yeah, 3.3.4? Yeah.
Nah, just 3.4.
3.4. Sorry, 3.4. Yeah.
So yes, but do follow me on a little bit of madness on Twitch and on Twitter, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys a couple times this week before I go away. And then when we get December, it's going to be a blast because I can't wait to stream loads on my holiday. So
awesome.
Rad.
Okay, cool. I'll go and find somebody to host.
Oh, who is that to host?
Should we host? Yeah, I was going to say host Vertigo to help him push him to his partner.
Yeah,
So, yep. Thanks everybody, as always, for joining us. If you're watching this on YouTube, you already know that this is on YouTube. For those of you that joined us late, missed the beginning, if you want to go and watch it on YouTube, it will be up at some point tomorrow. So !Asylum in chat, and you can get a link to all our YouTube channels. If you're not following us on there, please do, because having more numbers on there is nice for us. I don't know really.
Yes,
but,
please do.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on Twitch and YouTube too, I guess. And all those places. Yeah, and do make sure you go and give Dersus a follow, Beatrice a follow, Madness a follow. That way,
if you have to, Miserable G.
Don't bother. Well. You're already here, so you don't have to worry about it.